Tornado warning for Oklahoma City. If your phones are going off, this is why. You are in the path. Let's check in with Michael Armstrong, looking right into the inflow of this. Michael, tornado warning for the metro. Give us an update on what you're seeing, Michael.
Yeah, really the rotation is really wrapping up in here, Damon. Here's part of the problem. I know it's a pastime here in Oklahoma. Whenever a tornado warning goes off, what do? You go outside and look at it. Damon, here's what it looks like. This is what people are going to see. They're going to see this huge rain-wrapped circulation. You won't even see the tornado right now, probably unless you're a little bit north of it looking south. So people in Mustang, listen, you've got to take your tornado precautions right now. Don't wait. This storm is very, very organized, and it very well may have a rain-wrapped tornado. You won't even see it. You potentially will not see it at all. So don't count on the fact that if you walk outside and don't see a tornado that you're safe. Take your tornado precautions is what I'm trying to say. Visually, it is quite a presentation right now.
Okay, yeah, so just so everyone knows, and so by the way, tornado warning just issued, and so we're working 2 tornado warnings right now. Let's go back over to the radar. We're going to keep these shots up because we have a tornado warning for Payne County and then one for the metro. Now, this tornado warning does include more. You're on the south side of this tornado warning, although at this current track, it's lifting right now more up to the northeast, but that is where the storm is. We have Sky 5 on this as well. Let's go to Sky 5 full. I want to look at Sky 5. Chase Rutledge, you're on this tornado warning. Chase, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's right, Damon. We're trying to make our way to the south of the storm where that tornado warning is, and you can see as we just kind of pan from south to north along this storm, it is continuing to grow, and it is moving pretty quickly to the northeast. I know you're tracking that, but as we move back to the south or back to the left along this is where we're starting to see that rotation. This is where that tornado warning is being generated, and we're going to try to get a little bit closer to that one, although not too close. Don't want to get close to that hail core that you can definitely see inside that storm where we're trying to make our way a little bit closer to this, Damon. You can see how much movement that we have here and how much it's starting to lower even as we have the camera on it. We're going to take a closer look at this, and when we get a little bit closer, we'll call you back, Damon. Okay,
we know you will. Okay, so we got to work 2 storms right now, 2 tornado warnings. We got to jump back up real quick. We're gonna ping pong back, kind of ping pong back and forth between this and Payne County as well. We got to at least do a radar update with how this couplet is looking. The rotation is there. It's not as tight, but it's certainly still there. We're still getting at least our TVS marker right here. This current track would keep it just south of Stillwater, and Chris Lee is on this as well. So we'll get Chris Lee shot up here in just a second, but right now this is going to be just north of Langston. Let's go back down into OKC. Let's check the velocity, zoom in, show exactly where this rotation couplet is going to be for the OKC metro. We'll drop down to the south into Oklahoma City right now, and looking at the metro. Okay, before we go to the metro, we'll go to Chris Lee. Chris Lee, real quick, a few seconds, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, I am right here watching it. I'm seeing the rotation. It is a little bit north of Highway 33. It's going to go well south of Stillwater. Looks like north of Perkins, but it is not on the ground. At least I can't see anything that's on the ground. But we're right here looking at it, looking at that area. That's what you're seeing here. We took Country Club Road just straight south. That's about 3 miles south. We're about 4 miles to the west of Highway 177, and we're still looking to our west.
Oklahoma City. So let's go back down to the south here. Chris, we'll go back to you here in just a second. Let's go back down into the metro. Once again, back down into the metro and look at what's happening here in OKC with this couplet. And that is continuing to strengthen just north of Tuttle. Here's Sky 5. We have Michael and we have Derek on this. Let's check in with Michael real quick. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing in front of you.
Well, just a massive storm. It's actually behind us, Damon. Look at my 360 camera. That's our satellite dish on the top of Storm Command. Look at the storm. I mean, my goodness. It is a titanic supercell coming in right now toward Mustang. Mustang, take your tornado precautions right now. If any tornado develops, Damon, it's going to be on the north side of Tuttle, just very close to the river, just to the north of Tuttle. And it is moving to the east-northeast fairly quickly, 35 to 40 miles per hour. That's going to put it up into Westmore and the southwest side of Oklahoma City here, Damon, within about the next 20 to 30 minutes, and then moving over toward I-35 in about another probably 30 to 45. You guys, I know you have the storm tracks drawn on. You have the actual times, estimated time of arrivals. Those are incredibly important for people right now with all the things that are going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Let's go back over to the radar. It's important that we keep the radar up here. And so, as Jonathan has been mentioning, Jonathan, this is what we call an HP supercell. This thing is going to be wrapped up in rain, but we can see the winds inside of this. And this is where that rotation, we're 2 miles north of Tuttle. So here is Sky 5, here is Storm Command, and here is Derek Klein. This coming in the Mustang. Mustang, you have to be in your tornado shelter right now. This is about to move right into Mustang. And then it will keep spreading up into Oklahoma County here. So right here, this is your area of spin. Mustang, you're in your tornado shelter right now. And so all of our chasers that are listening right now, we're going to bounce back and forth from Payne County and then the OKC Metro, but we're going to keep we got to keep our reports real tight here because we're going back and forth. That is where the spin is going to be located. Let me check real quick with Derek Klein. Derek, you're in Mustang. This storm is moving towards Mustang. Give us an update real quick, Derek, with what you're seeing.
Damon, we're at State Highway 152. You're looking at the lowering right there. You can see the cuff. If there is a tornado, it's in that range, so you're not going to be able to see it. You're just going to see that cuff. So watch for that. That lowering is inside of there. That's what you've got to watch out for, not what's on the outside. Back to you, Damon.
Thank you very much there, Derek. And again, we're going to watch this real closely. Let's go back up to Payne County. You can see the warning right here. Payne County tornado warning in place right now as well. And so let's check in. Here we have Chris and Shane on this. Stillwater, this is still south of you. And so moving to the northeast. But if you are south of Stillwater, eastern Payne County, you need to be in your tornado shelter. This area of rotation is a little bit more elongated. That's okay. Chris Lee, real quick, give us an update, Chris, with what you're seeing.
Yeah, we're watching the area, but it is lowered at least halfway to the ground. Not seeing strong rotation with it, but it is very close to the ground. We're watching as it goes to just to the north of 33, and it's headed, looks like almost due east now, Damon.
Halfway down. Okay, and let's pull up Shane's picture real quick. Shane, let's look at Shane's picture real quick because we can see it. This is going to be the one in the middle right here. And so this is the lowering. This is going to be for Payne County. So Payne County, we're watching this one right here. And again, you can see that is a well-defined lowering. Okay, let's go back down into Oklahoma City right now. And so we're going to look at the newest radar scan that is going to be down by Tuttle and Minco. Once again, tornado warning. And here's your area of rotation right here. This is going to be southwest of Mustang. And so here's your spin. Sky 5, Derek and Michael. This is going to be wrapped up in rain. But if you are in Mustang, downtown Oklahoma City, you need to be in your tornado shelter right now. At this current track, this very well could clip the Oklahoma-Cleveland County line. This is where your rotation couple is the strongest. This is going to be just right along the Oklahoma River. Sky 5 is looking right into the heart of this. Let's go out the Sky 5 right now. Chase Rutledge, you're looking right into the storm, Chase. What do you see?
Yeah, that's Damon. We're actually looking at the storm that's just to the southwest of Tuttle, and we're starting to see a lot of lowering.
Okay, we'll get Chase back on here in just a second here. But once again, tornado warning for Oklahoma City and for Payne County as well. But this is the strongest rotation that we have right now in the state. This will be just north of Tuttle, just southwest of Mustang. And that is where our radar is picking up the strongest rotation couplet. At this current track, this will make its way in the southwestern sides of the metro from the airport and will more than likely stay more so in Oklahoma County than Cleveland County. I know that the sirens are going off right now. Right now, this current track is going to keep it just north of Moore. But that is where our spin will be the strongest. Let's check back in with Michael. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Okay, Damon, you're going to get a little bit of a bigger view here of the storm right now. We've given ourselves a little bit more distance. We're getting ready to cut. We're coming through Newcastle right now, right? We're getting ready to go up over onto I-44 and come across the river up into southwestern Oklahoma City. We need to get out ahead of this storm before it gets up to the river. Damon, it has a very, very well-defined hook echo on it. The velocities are not super strong right now. It is rain-wrapped at the moment, but we're going to have to continue to monitor this thing because just the presentation of it absolutely warrants a tornado warning. No question.
Yeah, absolutely. We totally agree with you there. Let's go back over to the radar right now, and we'll show you what this is looking like from the terminal Doppler that we have just near the airport, giving a real close view of just how this storm is rotating right here. And so this is it. So zooming in, Jonathan, I see you're using a terminal right here. What stands out to you right now with this velocity couplet?
Well, Damon, I know this area really well. I travel through Mustang south. I do a lot of travel baseball, and this is a spot on Sarah Road just south of Mustang where there's a kind of construction zone and there's a real slow zone. You go up over the hill and down the bridge 1 mile west of that. So this is going to be kind of west of the Boy Scout camp by about a couple miles, but just literally about 2 miles south. So about south 104th down to south 119th, about 1 mile west of Sarah Road, which is also known as Highway 4, Piedmont Road through that area. So Sarah Road, about 1-2 miles south of Mustang. So that's, I'm going off the intersection of State Highway 152 and Piedmont Road there, State Highway 4. That is the main intersection right there in Mustang. And so this is going to pass south of there by about 2 miles, but it's a very strong couplet. I mean, you need to execute your tornado action plan right now. What I don't like about this storm at all, Damon, it is rain wrapped. So I'm showing you the velocity. Chase is right there. Now I'm going to go over to the radar part. It's all wrapped in rain. You're not going to see the tornado. Don't expect to see like a classic stovepipe or elephant trunk or something like that. It's a rain-wrapped tornado. These are the worst. I hate them. You got to be very careful trying to go out and look at these storms.
Yeah, and the way that this storm is just spinning right now, Jonathan, I mean, this thing is spinning hard. You can see it here from Sky 5. And where's the tornado? It's inside that right now. So let's go back over to the radar right now because you can see exactly where our rotation is strongest. This is the Canadian River. So here's the airport. Here's Western Heights High School. Here's Mustang. Here's a rotation. Mustang, you have to be in your tornado shelter right now. If you're in downtown Oklahoma City, you need to be going into your shelter, innermost room of your house. This storm continues to move up to the northeast. And so at this track, if you're anywhere from downtown OKC, southwest OKC, down by the airport, this is a fast moving storm, moving at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. This is your area of rotation. This is where the tornado is going to be located, south of Mustang. Tuttle, you're okay. Tuttle, you can come out of your shelter. Derek Klein is right here. Sky 5 is right here. Let's check in with Derek Klein real quick. Derek, this tornado is just south of you. Derek, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon. So we are right now driving through the core of the storm. We're coming up on the new turnpike spur that comes out towards the airport. And heavy rain, there is no hail. That's some good news. The hail has been just pea size or none. But we're just north of the core, and we're getting ourselves in position to be able to keep up with it because it is moving very fast. So we're going to continue to monitor it here. But so far, small hail, not strong winds up here in the core. The worst part of the storm is to our south, where that hook echo is. Back to you.
Okay, we're going to watch this one real closely. So real quick, let's go back up into Payne County, because we need to get an update on this tornado warning as well for those of us in Stillwater. And so we're going back and forth right now between both of these storms. Stillwater, Hale Court is just south of you. Here's your rotation. We have Shane, we have Chrisley both on this. Chrisley, real quick, give us an update on what you see in front of you.
Yeah, this is doing very much like the one down south. It is wrapped up into rain. I do not see anything on the ground, but there could very well be. The circulation appears to be behind that rain curtain that you're looking at right there. It is well to the south of Stillwater, but it's heading east-northeast, and I cannot confirm anything on the ground or not.
Okay, we'll check back in with Chris Lee. And again, if you're watching in Stillwater, we're watching this one real close for you. This is where the rotation is just west of Perkins, moving to the east. think Stillwater should be mostly all right, at least from the tornado aspect of this, but you're going to get some hail in here. Still, though, if you're in eastern Payne County, we're watching this, but Stillwater, right now, this storm is about 6 miles south. You just go back down to Oklahoma City, get an update with that storm, where we have Sky 5, and we also have Michael and Derek. Let's check in with Sky 5. This thing is just spinning right here. This is so easy to see, even from a radar standpoint, how it is just spinning so hard. Let's go out to Chase. Chase, give us an update. We know this tornado's wrapped up in rain, but give us an update on what you see up in the air.
That's right, Damon. What I can tell you, this thing is moving pretty rapidly across the ground. I know it's hard to see from our wide shot here, but this is such an incredible shot. And a lot of you in the Oklahoma City area around just east of Yukon, right in that area, Bethany, you're not going to be able to see this storm because it's raining pretty hard on western Oklahoma City right now. But you can see it's still a lot of hail in this storm. And with that spinning and that rotation that you were talking about, Damon, it's not going to be much before we'll see some rotation and maybe some funnel clouds and possibly a tornado as this storm moves closer to the metro. Back to you guys.
Chase, just so you know, the tornado is going to be inside of this. This thing is wrapped up in rain, so this is not your classic LP supercell low precip, and you can see it. Let's put the radar back up here. There you go. And so this is going to be wrapped up in some rain, but we know this is spinning, and it is spinning hard. All of these communities right here need to be in their tornado shelter or the innermost room of your house. Wheatland, the airport, 725 to 730. OCCC at 7:30 for that sea arrival. Dell Campus, 737. Sky Ranch Elementary School, that's just south of I-240, 738. Paycom Center, downtown OKC, 745. And then we go even east, Sooner Elementary School. We're on Sooner Road there, south of Tinker. Right now, you're in the path with this at about 750, OKC Zoo at 752, and Tinker at 756. With this storm, we have Derek, we have Sky 5, and we have field meteorologist Michael Armstrong. We'll keep their shots up as well here on the left-hand side of your television screen. But let's check in back with Michael. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, we're watching this very, very close. I'm going to zoom in tight here just a moment. I want you to see the motion that's getting pulled into the storm. That is the inflow that's running from right to left into the big part of the circulation. So there's one wall cloud. You can see it. It's kind of smaller right now, but sometimes those can occasionally produce a tornado. But what I think is happening right now, Damon, is we're starting to see a new wall cloud. It's cycling again right now just to the southwest of Will Rogers World Airport. We're literally right on the east side of the runways, at the southern tip of the runways, right here on I-44, and you're looking at the storm as it is approaching southwest Oklahoma City. It is still a very well-organized supercell storm. I do not see anything like as far as tightening up where there would be a tornado at the moment, but man, it could happen. It could happen in minutes. We watch these things, and they morph, and they change very, very quickly. So continue your tornado precautions here across southwest Oklahoma City.
Yeah, we're watching this one as well real close. Let's go back over to the radar. This is where the tornado would be located. And so now very close to Mustang, really in between Mustang and the airport right here. This is the river, Western Heights High School. And so here's the airport. And so once again, for anyone that's near the State Fair Park, if you're down by the airport, Dell Campus, this rotation is 1.5 miles east of Mustang, moving to the east-northeast. Tornado warning remains in effect until 7:45, and so the rotation is going to be making its way out of Grady County. Will barely clip parts of Canadian County, and then come into Oklahoma County here. But this area of spin continues. Here is Sky 5, here is Storm Command, and Derek Klein. This storm absolutely is going to be one of those storms that you cannot see the tornado. It's going to be real tight up inside of the storm, and so just go into your shelter. We'll give you the all clear when it's time, but this is the area of spin. Jonathan, what do you see right here along Southwest 89th Street?
Yeah, so Damon, this is going to be south of State Highway 152, so east of Mustang, east of Piedmont Road, between Mustang Road and County Line Road. So some of the places there, this is obviously going to be east of the Lowe's over in Mustang, off to the east. Other places like Brewer, Mobile, Home Park, the Mustang FAA barn, Let's Play Sports, and then down the line. And so this is just right on 189, Southwest 189. So if it is the circulation, Damon. One thing I'm looking at on radar, I'm trying to see, because it's a rain wrap storm, and that rain will obscure what our chasers can see. I am using some products that we have on the side. I'm looking for potential debris being lifted up by the storm. I don't see that signature yet. Okay, so I don't see a tornado debris signature yet, but I'm looking for it. To me, the circulation right now down at the low levels has, I'm not saying that we're done. I'm saying it's come down one level. All right, I'd say come down one level. But these storms will cycle, and we watch scan by scan for them to trend back up. This is still a very mature supercell storm, and so we're still continuing with our tornado action plan here, Damon. But there's the location, County Line Road, Southwest 189th.
Yeah, and you're spot on there. And so we're going to continue to watch this. These things do this. They can cycle, they can come up, they can come down, but we're watching this. Okay, we're going to come back to this in just a couple seconds. We're going to go back up to Payne County and give you an update real quick on what's happening in southern Payne County by Stillwater here, where we have Chris Lee and Shane Helton right now. So here's your hail core. And so right now, this storm is still packing some pretty powerful winds here, right where Chris Lee is located. That just went right through Perkins, and now is lifting up towards Ripley and making its way now southeast of Stillwater as the sweep goes by here. Stillwater, you're okay from a tornado aspect, but you're still going to find at least some hail pretty close by. The hail is always on the northern side, and so the hail is going to continue to lift up to the north and going into eastern Payne County. So Stillwater feeling a little bit better. You're still getting a ton of rain, feeling a little bit better. Okay, let's go. We'll put a storm track on this up to the northeast. West Point, 749, down towards Player, Oilton, and down towards Cleveland here after 8 o'clock. Let's go back down into the OKC metro, where we have our other tornado warning. We're just going back and forth here. This storm is still rotating. You can see it rotating right here, and just all this rain. Here's your hail. Now, this is warned on right here for golf ball size hail. That would be right over Western Heights High School, and then pulling up into downtown OKC. Here's your inflow right here with this cell. So Mustang, the rotation is now going to be east of you, but this is headed right towards the airport, towards Dell campus, right just near Western Heights High School. And at this current track, this is going to move right over or very close to downtown Oklahoma City. Of all the tornado warnings that we have had in the last couple decades, this might be the one that has been closest to moving right into downtown OKC. We've had a lot across Oklahoma City, but this one very well could impact the downtown area. Let's check in with Michael right now. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
All right, Damon, we are looking pretty much, we're right near OCCC, okay? So we're right near I-240 and I-44. So for folks that southwest Oklahoma City, back near Will Rogers World Airport, this is a very, very tough-looking supercell. It does have some large hail with it that's going to be coming in right over top of I-240, and just north of there, probably I could see some golf ball-size hail. We are also watching for that potential of a tornado to spin up. It has not happened yet that I've been able to see visually. It has been wrapped in rain at times, though, and we're just getting ready to start seeing the hail move in over top of us here very shortly along I-44 and 240. This is going to track the circulation part of the storm. The most dangerous part of the storm is going to track over the south side of Will Rogers World Airport and then up into southwest Oklahoma City, there along Southwest 59th over toward May Avenue, Penn, and then on over toward Western as well, and then eventually on over toward Valley Brook. So we are in perfect position to continue to follow it right here. And I know you have Sky 5 on it as well. We can actually see him flying above us at times. So it's still just a very, very impressive looking supercell storm, Damon. Whether it is able to form a new wall cloud or tighten up in the rotation, we don't know yet. We just have to track it moment by moment and watch for anything to form underneath it. You can see how it's kind of lowered back in there right now, right above the trees here west of I-44. Those are the types of things we're going to continue to watch for in case this storm gets more intense. Back to you.
Yeah, and so this thing is still cycling, and this absolutely absolutely warrants a tornado warning. And not only is this warned on it, and rightfully so, but also when you have these tornadoes that move over open land, the reports of any damage are not there. Damage reports don't begin to happen until we start getting into populated areas. And that's exactly what's happening right now with this storm. And so we're watching this one real closely, but I cannot hit the message hard enough. If you are in southwestern parts of Oklahoma City, from the airport to Dell campus to downtown Oklahoma City towards Lightning Creek, that vicinity in between I-40 and I-240, you have to be in your tornado shelter or the innermost room of your house away from windows. That's where you need to be right now. This is rain wrapped. You will not see this coming in, but we are still picking up a good amount of rotation with this. And even here at the TV stations, we can hear the sirens outside. Those are sounding. If you can hear the sirens, you are in the path of this. As the sweep goes by, you can see here this is lifting up to the northeast. And so Will Rogers World Airport, and as you make your way up in the southwestern sides of Oklahoma City, right near Lightning Creek, and as you heard Michael just mention seconds ago, even towards around what used to be Plaza Mayor and Valley Brook. This vicinity between I-40 and I-240, this is the area of most concern as the storm continues to lift up to the northeast. All of these communities right here, you're getting ready or you're already in your tornado shelter or the innermost room of your house. This storm is moving fairly quickly, and it's a real concern about this one. Derek Klein is going to be up near the Dell campus where we have the hail core of this. Real quick, I want to check in with Derek. Derek, the storm is warned on for golf balls. Give us an update with what you're seeing, Derek.
Damon, we just crossed 44 and I-40. And so far, we've just had small hail, but the largest hail is going to be in front of us here, crossing I-40. So we're still about a mile to maybe 2 miles to the west of it, but we're getting very close. You can see, actually, in our stream here, I'm going to push it to the forward here to the front of the truck. It's going to be raining, but you can see all the traffic leaving Norman here coming down I-40. Lots of traffic going westbound. We're going eastbound, a lot less traffic here this way, but again, we're just a little bit behind the biggest part of the hail core. So far, just a few pea-sized hail chunks for us here on I-40 and now coming up on Penn and Western. Back to you. Okay, be safe out there, Derek. And so this is where the area of spin is, right on the north side of the airport, just south of Western Heights High School. This right here is where the area of rotation is. So we're now at the airport with this tornado OCCC about a minute later. Sky Ranch Elementary School, it's going to be right close to I-240. Paycom Center, 745. Now we're getting into downtown Oklahoma City. And so for a lot of us that have always thought downtown areas have really never been impacted by a tornado, no, they absolutely can. And so if you're in downtown OKC, and I understand there are a lot of people in right now, even from out of town. If you're running the marathon and you're new to Oklahoma City and you're saying, where do I go? What should I be doing? I'm in my hotel right now. Go into the hallway, innermost room of the hotel. I know there's a lot of events happening right now, but just get away from windows. If you're in a hotel and you're not from a tornado, a part of Tornado Alley, you're not too sure what to do. That's where you go, innermost room of the hotel or the hallways there. So this is where the area of rotation is going to be. This is the airport. This is downtown Oklahoma City where we had the Paycom Center. So downtown OKC right here. Here's the area of rotation. Here's the airport. There's Sky 5. Here's Storm Command, and then Derek's going to be right up here. Let's check back in with Michael. Michael, watching this one real closely as it's now moving on the northern side of the airport. And Michael, there are a lot of people that are not from Oklahoma City that are in OKC right now and wondering what to do. Give us an update on what you're seeing right now out on the roads.
Well, I think what we have to do, Damon, is we have to, let people know that they don't need to panic with this storm. It does have a tornado warning, so you want to take your tornado precautions. That means the safest place. It means you want to put as many walls between you and the outside wall as possible if you don't have a safe room or an underground shelter. But what we're looking at right now, you're looking back down I-240. This is my 360 camera. This is our ability to be able to look backwards at the storm as we're able to track it. Now, back in there, you see all the rain and hail. That's actually in the hook echo. That's what we're actually picking up on radar. When you see the hook, that's what you're seeing. When we talk about that big ball that's on the end of the hook, looks like a big comma shape on radar. That's what you're seeing visually right now. On the north tip of that is where I'm seeing the most pronounced lowering, and if we were going to see a tornado, it's going to be back kind of tucked in right back in there, Damon. If we were to see one develop, it appears that the storm has just continued to cycle over and over and over again. If it'll keep doing that, we'll be in good shape. I know it's got a tornado warning on it, but if it'll keep cycling like this, it'll drop some hail. Don't get me wrong. It will produce some strong winds, but we may escape without a tornado. But I got to tell you, we cannot count on that right now. So you just have to go ahead and take your tornado precautions and plan on there being a tornado at this point.
Yeah, you're right there, Michael. And so we're hoping that this, if we have to deal with something, we're hoping that the tornado threat can come down. But tornado warning is a tornado warning is a tornado warning. And so we have to treat this extremely carefully here and certainly watch it scan by scan. And so where the rotation is now being picked up here, just near Western Heights High School, we're now on the north side of Will Rogers World Airport, very close to the Dell campus and the Outlet Mall. This is I-40. And so this is the airport. Jonathan, you're looking at the winds. Here's your rotation, probably even a bit of probably some downburst winds in there as well.
I lay in the divergent wind at the surface. Those are winds moving. They're not gate to gate. They're moving away. And so that radial is coming off the terminal radar. And so I think on the backside, we're having some pretty strong divergent winds. So you're going to probably have, besides area rotation, you're probably going to also have potential microburst is what I could be concerned, which can do more damage sometimes than a small tornado. Now, I don't see anything real tight in the circulation that to me says imminent tornado threat. There is embedded right, so I'll highlight it here for you, right just at the intersection of I-44 and Airport Road. That's where the circulation is right now. I'll go ahead and draw it right here. This is where the circulation is. And then you have some really bad microburst winds on the back side of it. So there's two areas of highlighted. That's the circulation, and this may be like rear flank downdraft winds on the back side of it, and those can do some really bad damage too, though, Damon. So, but the area of circulation, there it is. It's going to be right at about Southwest 44th and I-44. It'll eventually cross May Avenue, Penn Ave, and kind of move up. That area of circulation would move it would potentially hit downtown, maybe 1 or 2 miles south of downtown.
Okay, and just another thing that I'm also just watching real closely as the storm is coming in. First things first, Mustang, you're no longer in the warning, so we're good here. Still watching this, still coming right into south sides of Oklahoma City. And this is one of the busiest weekends of the entire year when it comes to just outdoor festivals and tents and all that stuff. But these strong winds can certainly just blow things out of here. And so I think we're going to be dealing with, at least hopefully not, but quite a messy situation for downtown Oklahoma City. We'll be able to analyze that once the storm is lifted out of here. But with the marathon, the arts festival, just absolutely not the ideal time to be getting a nasty storm like this right overhead, and never a good time, but you know what I'm trying to say here. So in the meantime, Sky 5, Derek Klein, Michael Armstrong watching the storm, still rotating now on the northeast side of the airport, lifting up. If you're in Moore itself, 4th Street, 19th Street, you're out of the tornado warning. Northern Cleveland County, here's a brand new tornado warning here just issued. So there you go. Cleveland County no longer in the tornado warning, but this is turning more east. You can see here this new polygon is now pulling it more to the east, which certainly means that this has the potential to still strengthen as it moves to the east here. So Tinker, Midwest City, Spencer, Choctaw, you're in the path now. So brand new tornado warning just issued moments ago. This is not for Edmond. Edmond, you're not in the tornado warning here. This is going to be south, but brand new tornado warning now. And this is mainly now going to be for Oklahoma County. And so Oklahoma County now in the tornado warning. The original warning will expire here. You can see on television screen at 7:45, but it looks like that's getting dropped here in just a second. But the Paycom Center, 7:45, Dell City, 7:52, Tinker, 7:59. Where's your rotation? It's just now north of the airport, south of the Dell campus. And here you go right here. Inflow coming in right here. And so let's check back in with Michael Armstrong. Michael, brand new tornado warning issued just seconds ago. This is for Oklahoma County. This is accounting for more of a right turn here, Michael. Give us an update on what you're saying, Michael.
Yeah, I agree with that, Damon. And so here's what's happening. 59th and Penn would be the area that would be the most susceptible right now, the area that I would be most concerned about where a tornado may develop. There's not one right now. You're looking at that area. The rotation is actually somewhat broad and not real tight in there. You're looking at my shot. Man, this is just an ominous-looking storm. I mean, it honestly, that is a very, very scary-looking sight coming in on southwest Oklahoma City right now. There is no two ways about it. What we're seeing, though, is that we're not seeing real tight rotation at this particular moment. But look at that's the mesocyclone. I mean, that is the low-level mesocyclone. I'm going to pan up. Look at this. Coming back down around now to the other side of it. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, it's just a huge rotating base, huge rotating thunderstorm right now here across southwest Oklahoma City. And so we do not want people to come out of their shelter right now, because embedded in that rain, you could have a tornado that could form. One good thing I can say, Damon, there are a lot of people who have kids who are down in downtown Oklahoma City area for prom. There's a lot of things happening with it being a Saturday night. Listen, you're going to have some hail in downtown Oklahoma City and over near Bricktown. The circulation and the tornadic part of the storm is going to pass well south of downtown Oklahoma City. It's going to be coming in toward Valley Brook, somewhere along 44th and 29th around I-35. So it's passing 2 miles, at least 2 to 3 miles south of downtown Oklahoma City. That is very, very good news. And I agree, with the way they drew the new tornado warning, it's moving more from west to east. That's also that's a sign that a storm can be intensifying, so we're going to have to watch that really close. We are right here embedded with the storm. Kyle, let's go ahead and go. We do have the rain that's wrapping around the circulation starting to move in over us now. And so, Damon, we're going to get in close with it to see if it does have a tornado. But as of right now, I don't think the rotation's strong enough for it to produce one, but it could at any moment.
There too. Okay, so there's a lot happening. Flood advisory, we'll add that into the mix as well. So here's your area of rotation right now with this tornado warning that we have for South OKC. And this is still warned on for some pretty large hail as well. Look what we are sampling up inside of this storm. That is some very large hail. That's pushing bigger than golf balls, almost lime-size hail. So there is some big hail with this. This is moving to the east, and so this is going to stay in Oklahoma County. Cleveland County, your tornado warning is no longer in effect. As a matter of fact, Jonathan, we can go ahead and highlight Oklahoma County here because there you go, till 8:15, because the tornado warning for Moore has been dropped. Now, Moore, Norman, we're still watching it closely. There's a severe thunderstorm that's dropping half-dollar size hail that's coming in your direction. We'll get to that in just a moment, but right now, here's the big hail. Here's where the storm's going to be located. Here's downtown OKC. Here's Valley Brook. Here's I-240. Here's Lightning Creek right here, and we're going to be just south of downtown Oklahoma City by just a little bit here. But if you're in Midwest City, Del City, down by the Air Force Base, go into your tornado shelter right now with this storm, which continues to show at least a sign of strengthening here. And as you heard Michael mention, the couplet is not very strong, but it's still strong enough. It's absolutely still warranted. So here's where we are, down by Valley Brook. Right about here. As a matter of fact, we have Derek and we have Storm Command. Let's check in with Derek Klein, because if there's a tornado here, it's right in front of him. So just west of Valley Brook, that's the old Plaza Mayor. Let's check in with Derek. Derek, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon. So you're looking right now at the lowering. It's literally like right underneath us. That's why you can't see anything, because we are sitting right underneath the rotation of that storm here as it's getting ready to cross I-35 near Valley Brook, like you said. So the rotation is not crazy strong, though. So but it's there, and it's definitely got to be watched very closely here as we're getting ready to drop into the RFD now, coming around the backside. So the RFD is the winds coming around the south side of the rotation. I expect to see our wind increase right up here. As you can see, here it comes right here. We're going into it right now. And now we're getting hit with blinding rain and super strong winds. Just like that, it takes that fast. So this is a dangerous storm, whether it drops a tornado or not. You can see how dangerous that was. Back to you.
Definitely see it there coming in from Derek Klein, and so this is his stream right here. And again, that rain picks up real fast, and using his 360 cam here, you can see just that rain that is coming in. Flood advisory also in place. So just look at that right there. This is what we said moments ago. Look, if you're in Norman at the spring game, stay there. don't try to drive in this, because you do not want to be on the road when this is coming in. So if you're in Norman right now and you're saying, when can I go? We'll let you know, but right now is not it. So this is still tornado warned, and that circulation will be just east of Santa Fe, right down I-35. So this is I-240. Here's Santa Fe Avenue. Here's Lightning Creek. Here's going to be Valley Brook right here. And then here's your area of spin. We're just north of Moore, and we're east of the airport, right along I-240 with this cell right here. And so as you make your way eastbound on I-240, you get into a little bit more open land here. You have, this is still some neighborhoods and industrial area as you make your way in between Plaza Mayor and Tinker Air Force Base. But that's your area of rotation right there. That's your area of spin. So tornado warning remains in effect. Now, if you're watching us right now in Moore, down to Norman, severe thunderstorm warning for half-dollar size hail with that cell. We'll get to that in just a moment. It's still down by Amber, but we still got to watch the scan by scan. That is exactly where the area of rotation will be. So this is I-240, and so here's Storm Command. And again, Plaza Mayor is going to be right there. You can see the large circle right there. This is where the old Crossroads Mall, Plaza Mayor area is going to be located. So this is where the area of rotation is going to be, just right over I-35, just north of I-240 here, southeast 44th Street. And so just thinking of a couple areas that are going to be located right here, very busy, a couple hotels that are going to be just north of I-4 or southeast 44th Street right here, and then here's the train tracks that you can actually see them on our high resolution mapping. So that's exactly where their area of rotation is going to be located. It's going to continue to make its way to the east. We're just north of the old Crossroads Mall and Plaza Mayor by not even a mile, right here. This is headed towards Tinker Air Force Base at 7:54 in Midwest City. 1 minute later, this storm moving at about 30 to 35 miles per hour, which for a tornadic storm here in Oklahoma City, for Oklahoma, that's kind of a fast moving storm right here. So that's going to continue to make its way to the east here and just north of the mall. Newalla 819, Hera 821. And then we get in towards around Pottawatomie County by 8:31. But that is where your circulation, your couplet will be. As you heard us mention before, that rotation is not very tight, but it is certainly there. And so that's why we got to watch this one scan by scan. And this is still picking up on some large hail. Let's check in with Michael Armstrong right now. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing just west of Del City.
Okay, so Damon, we're I-35 starting to come to almost a standstill right now. It's going to really slow us down. We're just north of the tip of this thing. I'm going to bring my camera back around. A lot of rain. There is hail embedded in this as well. We are going to try to get off and go east if we can, even on Southwest 15th up here. The next time we can get off, but people are basically stopping. This is not good because they're going to get pummeled with hail. And the tornadic part of the storm is, if it does form, is just to our south. We're trying to make it through here. If you have to go around them, whatever we got to do, we got to get through this so that we can get east with this storm. Damn, it's really, really difficult navigation right now. Come back to me. We're going to work our way through this, and we'll get back over on the circulation in just a moment.
Okay, we'll come back to you there in just a moment, but tornado warning remains in place. Midwest City, Del City, Tinker Air Force Base. You're in your tornado shelter or the innermost room of your house with this storm. If you're down by the airport, you're okay. The storm is now east of you. The tornadic part of the storm, I should be saying. Moore, you're not in the warning. Again, this storm is staying just north of you in Moore and in Cleveland County. Now, Cleveland County, we still have a storm to watch, and again, we'll get to that in just a moment, but this tornado warning is going to be right over I-35, moving to the east, and it's going to make its way right along and just north of I-40 here. Here's I-240, here's I-40. Here's your area of rotation right along southeast 59th Street. It's lifting up to the northeast here, so now we're getting into Del City, very close to Del City High School, right along southeast 44th Street, and that's going to lift up towards Midwest City as well. And here is Tinker. Here's your area of rotation. We have this storm. We also got to jump up into Payne County. Let's go up into Payne County, and we're gonna go back and forth here. So we still have 2 tornado warnings to work with here. Let's check in Stillwater. You're no longer in the tornado warning, but we got to check in with Chris Lee. Chris, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, just south of Ripley. We're pulling off of this storm and coming back to the south, but just moments ago, I saw a what appeared to almost be a funnel where the circulation was, and almost immediately it got wrapped up into rain. A lot of times that just cuts off the inflow into that area, and the rotation has to kind of form again. So that's what I think this storm has kind of been doing. That's why we haven't, hopefully, we haven't seen any damage. That the storm will form and start to rotate and immediately pull the rain around and cut off its own inflow. So that's what I just saw. I've seen several times today, but that was the most dramatic, where it looked like it was almost a funnel. It was certainly a funnel shape, and then almost immediately the rain circled around it and cut it off. So that's the area just north of Ripley. But Shane is watching that very closely as we head back to the south. Damon?
All right, we'll keep a close eye on this one. Again, Stillwater, you're no longer in the tornado warning. Let's go back over to the radar, show you exactly what we're referring to. Ingalls going up towards northeastern Payne County. We're watching this one real closely. This tornado warning remains in effect until 8:30, but Stillwater, you're not included in this warning. Eastern Payne County up towards West Point and Quay, you are. Let's go back down into this tornado warning here that we have for Oklahoma City. This is going to be just west of Tinker, Midwest City, Del City. You can see our inflow notch right here, and here's your inflow. Here's your hail core that will be just east of downtown OKC, just west of what we have a Midwest City here, and Storm Command, and I can hear the tornado siren still blaring in Oklahoma City. We're here on the north side, but if you're anywhere from Edmond, as you make your way down towards the capital, right now this area of rotation is going to stay south of us. So this is exactly where the tornado will be located, just west of Midwest City. Let's check in with Michael. Michael, give us an update with what you're seeing.
Okay, Damon, we are embedded in the rain. We're just on the north side of a new circulation now. It's cycled again. There's a new circulation feature that's just to the east of Valley Brook. That's going to be along southeast 59th. And maybe southeast 44th also, Damon. And coming in on Sunny Lane, okay? From Bryant over to Sunny Lane is where the new circulation is starting to form. We continue it, actually starting to see the lowering now in my shot. You see it right there? So this is where the circulation feature is going to be. If anything's going to form a tornado, it's going to be right here, just in between I-240 and I-40. That's going to be coming in right over top of Tinker Air Force Base and Tinker Diagonal, Damon.
Yeah, we can definitely see that. And so tornado warning still remains in effect until 8:15. And so this is a view, and a bit of a farther view. We're actually in Norman looking up to the north. And so this gives us just a much larger view. And you can just see this entire storm right here. There's a ton of rain. And I-35, by the way, is looking much less congested now than it was right after the spring game let out. So that's good news here. And again, if you're still in Norman, stay there. We'll let you know when it's okay to go, but trust me, you do not want to drive into the storm right now. So right now, still watching this area of rotation. If you're by Tinker, just north of I-240, as you heard Michael mention, this is going to be Sooner Road right here. This is now crossing over Sooner. There's a Walmart right here, as a matter of fact, and just on the west side of Tinker Air Force Base, and then a couple other just commercial shops right here that just run right down Sooner Road here. But we are now on the east side of Sooner, now making its way right into over Tinker Air Force Base, and then just south of Midwest City here, just south of this busy strip where you have the Walmart and Dick's Sporting Goods and a Target, all that located right here. So this is where the circulation is going to be right on top of Sooner Road. This is going to move on to the northern side of Tinker Air Force Base here. South side of the base right now, you're still getting hit with some pretty strong winds, but the tornado is going to be located right here, right on Sooner Road. This is going to be north of I-240 with this tornado warning. We're still watching this storm as well, and this is what I was telling you earlier, that this storm is beginning to look a little bit healthier from Bridge Creek down towards the toll booth, and so this storm is beginning to rotate as well, just right over Bridge Creek. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but there's nothing that's obstructing the storm down to the southeast. So this is getting good inflow into this. And so Moore and Norman, this is a storm to watch. This is what we're watching for you right now. It's a severe thunderstorm warning, dropping $half size hail. Let's go out to Derek Klein. Derek, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Damon, yeah, we've dropped south now, so we're on I-35 headed right through Norman, and periodically, there it is. You can see the lowering on that storm that you just talked about near Blanchard. It's heading, again, right towards Norman Moore area, and we're tracking it now. As I pan tilt my 360 cam, you can see the inflow that you just talked about. Look at it there as it's funneling into the center of that storm. So we're headed south right now. We're going to get a better vantage point of it so we don't have all the structures in the way, and we'll let you know exactly what it looks like. But it is a intensifying thunderstorm with really healthy inflow right now. Back to you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So Moore and Norman, we're watching this one for you real closely right now. You're in a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is beginning to have that look, that inflow, excuse me, that is coming right now into Bridge Creek. Jonathan, we're working a lot of storms right now, and I know that you're so busy analyzing the radar, but what stands out to you most right now with what we're seeing?
Damon, you said it. This storm is unobstructed, and so when it comes to these storms, and it's basically like fuel to an engine, right? So the storm down the south here that we have highlighted in the radar here, this might be cutting off the flow or moisture into the storm that Michael's on, the storm that we've been tracking from Mustang, from, well, Rogers, South OKC, and north of Moore, we've been tracking all the way through. It is eating or ingesting the rain from the southern storm. So a lot of times we call the forward flank downdraft will kill off the northern storm. Not always the case. Sometimes these hook up and they have enough separation in them that both storms can be tornadic and be long-lived. But my concern, like Damon said, this storm is unobstructed. Look to the south. There's nothing to the south. Nothing south of Dibble, Lindsay, nothing south of Lexington. So this storm has pure, strong, good inflow into it. The winds, when it comes to us here in Oklahoma or in central Oklahoma, one thing that we're going to look at is what are the low-level winds doing. And the low-level winds are out of the south and southeast. They're slightly a little bit more to the east than south. They're like 170 degrees. That is what we call a backing wind. That is not good. That is conducive for low-level rotation. And so I'm concerned that this storm here, which is west of Blanchard, is really starting to rotate pretty good, get pretty strong, be the dominant storm, and we're just going to have to watch it. It does have a very strong inflow notch. I've highlighted the area of circulation, which will be between the exit, when the turnpike comes south of Bridge Creek, and then there's I-44 and there's a toll booth. That's where the circulation is, but there's a big hook developing. So we're watching that storm real closely. If a new tornado warning is issued, that's going to be the storm. But the storm that we've been tracking is this tornado warning, which continues for another about 20 minutes. Let's check in with field meteorologist Michael Armstrong. Michael, I see you just north of Tinker Air Force Base, and Michael, I have the circulation over Tinker, like literally over where they park all the AWACS. That's where I have the center circulation. Go, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. Southeast 44th and Air Depot, Jonathan. We may be getting a spin up here very shortly. There's a small hook, if you look very closely on the radar, right in this area. No, my windshield wipers are making it tough to see right now, but right straight south of me, literally by a mile or so, this thing is really, really wrapped up. Just a gnarly wall cloud right now. Back just to my south, Jonathan, this is probably the most developed I've seen it. As far as the possibility of producing a tornado, a new circulation has developed out on the edge of it. Here is a look at you're going to be looking at the runway right now. This is it. This is looking at it right now. KOCO, can we pull off here right here and stop for just a second? I want to be able to get a view of this. This is, Jonathan, this is really, really concerning right now for Tinker and areas to the east because this is probably, even though the velocities are not real strong yet, this is one of the more concerning views I've seen yet on radar with this storm yet.
Yeah, Michael, you're spot on there. As a matter of fact, we'll keep Michael shot up, but let's put the radar right behind me because I want you to be able to visually see what I am seeing as well. And so it is going to be for this couplet that is going to be literally right on top of Tinker. You see this right here? And so this is the base. You could, Michael, it was 110% accurate on this, but you can't get any more accurate than what Michael mentioned. He's looking at the runways. We can see the runways, and this is the tornado right here. So here's Michael. Here's the runways at Tinker Air Force Base. And so if you're in Midwest City, you have to be in your tornado shelter, especially if you're just east and northeast of Tinker Air Force Base. You are in your tornado shelter right now, or the innermost room of your house. If you're west of I-35, you're good. So the circulation is now past east of you. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, rapid rising motion. We do have rotation right over the maintenance hangars on the east side of Tinker Air Force Base right now. Here are the runways. That's the runway right there. You can see it being engulfed in rain. There's the leading edge of the circulation. This is what I was concerned about. I don't think it's quite tightening up enough yet, but Damon, it is really, really close. We've got a lot of motion. This is, wow, this is really close. This is just to my south.
We can see it there, Michael. And so once again, tornado warning right over Tinker. And so who's no longer in the warning and who can come out of their safe room or shelter or innermost room? If you are west of I-35 in southwestern OKC, so the circulation is now east of you. You cannot come out of your shelter yet or innermost room of your house if you are from Tinker and into southeastern and eastern Oklahoma County. This is where the area of rotation continues, just right over Tinker, coming right in to Midwest City. This storm is still rotating and moving to the east here. So you're still in your shelter with this tornado warning remaining in place until 8:15. Right now, it is 8 o'clock, and there's your area of rotation with this cell right over Tinker. So anyone that is going to be north of, we're going to stay north of Stanley Draper, but right along and north of I-40. We're going to be watching this storm keep moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Downtown Oklahoma City, you're okay now. You're fine. But right over the base to Midwest City. Here's Michael. Here's your hail core right over Midwest City. Still warned on for some pretty large hail. A lot of that's also going to have some rain that's mixed in with it as well. Let's check back in with Michael. Michael, give us an update. What's changed since we last talked to you?
Well, at this point, Damon, we're still watching this area of circulation that's on the east side. I mean, it is very, very low. And I cannot confirm visually. Oh, we do have a tornado vortex signature now. That's the first one I've seen. Again, this is where, man, this is going to be really, really tough. But if one forms, it's going to be right here with us on the east side of Tinker.
All right, Michael, we're going to watch this one real closely. I want to jump back up. So we're still working with this and up into Payne County. We're going to get back to this in just a second. But I want to go back up into Payne County real quick, where we still have, we had a storm, no longer tornado warned, which is good, but it was tornado warned, and that warning has since then dropped. So that's a good update here. Real quick, let me check in with Shane Helton. Shane, just give us a quick update on how things are and if you've heard of any damage there in Payne County.
Damon, we haven't seen or heard of any damage up here, and I don't think it ever did make a tornado or anything like that. Right now, the most exciting thing is that beautiful sunset. Damon, back to you.
Okay, Shane, we're going to keep in close contact with you there, Shane, and probably we'll begin to drop you down to the south, Shane. But great job, you and Chris, out reporting on this storm there in Payne County. So let's go back down to the south, back into the metro with our tornado warning, and then the storms that are developing south and southwest of the metro, where we're still working, this storm is still rotating down by Newcastle, north of Blanchard. This storm is rotating as well, right on top of Tinker. When it comes to storms coming into the metro, this is what it's like in the springtime here. And so it is springtime in Oklahoma. We're going to watch this one. Let's check in with the rotation couplet on this cell down by Newcastle. Get an update with this. This is still warned on for $half size hail. Not rotating nearly as that strong. So there's some rotation, but it's not strong, but it is dropping some hail right now just north of Blanchard, west of Newcastle. And I hate to say it, Norman, this is coming right on into town. So this is $half size hail coming right on into Norman. I know, Norman, you don't like to hear that, but this is what we're dealing with. We're going to watch it scan by scan. Hopefully the hail core will come down, but that is what's moving in as we speak. So we'll get an update on that. Let's put a track to the east here. And so Newcastle at 8:12. We go to Norman High School at 8:28, downtown Norman, 8:30. Broadmoor Elementary School here in Moore at 8:30 on the northern fringe of this, but you are included in the warning. Moore, OU 8:30, Belmar 8:34, Turtle Lake and Rock Creek neighborhoods there. That's going to be right on Sooner Road and 149th, and then 4th Street here in Moore, and then Pepperwell Oaks, and then the town of Franklin at 845. All of these communities right here, this is not a tornado warning. However, be prepared for this storm to become tornado warned. If it is, this is when the storm will arrive. This is when the circulation will arrive. So right now, this is going to be warned on for $half size hail. Let's go back into the tornado warning here in Oklahoma County. Jonathan, you're highlighting this. That's got an inflow to it as well.
Yeah, next storm, right. That's just the next storm. We could just see a daisy chain of supercells line up all the way down the south.
Yeah, my goodness. We have not seen a storm system like this in what feels like a very long time, when you're just having supercell after supercell after supercell after supercell. I believe we probably have about 6 supercells right now, right down I-35. So we have not seen a storm system like this in a very long time, but this is certainly something here. Here's your area of rotation now on the east side of Tinker. You can see as Jonathan is going through the lapse mode here, is moving a bit more east and kind of pushing out, but you still see the inflow. Jonathan, they're highlighting it perfectly right along I-40. We're just north of I-240 where the two roads begin to merge back to one, and here's Storm Command watching this area just right behind them. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, watching this storm, it's still tornado warned. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Okay, Damon, yeah. So what we're seeing right now, this whole circulation is still spinning. It looks like that area of rotation that was tightening up has kind of gotten a little bit broader once again, and now it looks like to me if a storm is going to form, a tornado is going to be further south, actually kind of coming in toward the 88D, the radar KTLX. So it's going to be moving more over toward kind of I-40, I would say, Damon. And we're, again, right here with it. So I-40 and Choctaw Road, and further to the east over toward Peebly, those are going to be the areas to watch now for something to spin up. It looks like that southern part of the storm is really starting to kind of take over now as you look back. I mean, that is just an incredible picture on my 360 camera right now. I mean, look at that. My gosh, the whole thing, that's the inflow into the storm. We call that the beaver tail. That is the inflow flowing right into it. And look at how many plates are just stacked on top of one another. It looks like an upside down wedding cake right now, Damon.
Yeah, and with that night vision that you have there, Michael, so important in helping to be able to look for these tiny features. And so this technology that you have here and all of our chasers have is just so important, because now the sun is setting. And so now we're going into a bit of a different chase mode here where night vision is critical. And so that is what we were watching. Tornado warning remains in effect for Tinker to Midwest City, and it's making way to Dungy Park, Choctaw to Hara, and down to Newalla. Downtown OKC, no longer a tornado warning. Still watching an area of, if there's a tornado spinning up right now, this is where it is, right along I-40. This is where your circulation is tightest, that right there. Southeast 44th Street, where Jonathan has highlighted, that's where your couplet will be as this is moving to the east, headed towards eventually Choctaw and Newalla. Tornado warning remains in place for another 9 minutes for southeastern Oklahoma County. Payne County no longer in a tornado warning. So Payne County, you are no longer in a tornado warning. Right now we have one tornado warning in the state, and it is this right here. This will be over southeastern Oklahoma City and southeastern Oklahoma County. Are we done with the tornado warnings? Most likely not. So I still think, especially as we're now getting into that window where the southeasterly winds are beginning to ramp up, we're going to begin to see this really these storms begin to rotate. And once again, the only tornado warning we have right now is for Oklahoma County. So Payne County no longer in a tornado warning. So this area right here, this is where it's spinning. We are now just east of Tinker Air Force Base. Again, just east of Tinker Air Force Base. And once again, tornado warning for Oklahoma County only. Again, for Oklahoma County only. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing. Okay, we'll get Michael back on here.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, there you go.
I'm here. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead, Mike. What do you see?
Yeah, right now, again, Damon, look at this thing. I mean, it is just massive. I mean, this is just such an impressive supercell. There are a number of lowerings. None of them are particularly tornadic looking. In other words, like a funnel. You can see them all. Look at it. I mean, there's like even you can't even hardly count them. There's so many. It's so ragged underneath there. But what can happen is one of those can kind of pick up an intensity and produce a tornado. So that's why the tornado warning continues with this storm. It is just it's just such an impressive looking storm. This is a classic Southern Plains supercell right now that can produce a tornado really at any time.
All right, Michael, we can see this storm, and once again, tornado warning remains in place until 8:15. So let's go back over to the radar. Once again, where's that couplet? Here it is right here. We're going to be just north of I-40 here. This is going to be just this I-40 now. We are east of Tinker, and this storm continues to move to the east. So who's still on the warning? Hara to Newalla. And then here's your rotation now, about 1.5 miles northeast of Tinker, right where I-240 and I-40, they connect. And we're just west of the turnpike here. There's a lot of rain. I know we've been talking and focusing a lot on the most important hazard here, which is the tornado threat. Flood advisory now just issued a little while ago for Oklahoma City. There's a lot of rain. And this is not the only line of storms that we're seeing for the metro tonight. We're going to see another wave that's going to come in here, and we very well could have some parts of Oklahoma City and down towards Moore and Norman and down towards Lexington and Purcell that will likely see anywhere between 3 to 5 inches of rain by tomorrow afternoon, because we're going to see another wave of rain coming in here. But this is your area of spin right here, just north of Stanley Draper. Let's pull on out and let's look at the big picture right now, because I know that there's so many warnings that are popping up and everyone's saying, well, what's happening? What's coming towards me? So again, we've been focusing on the tornado warning here, but we also have other warnings. And just look at all these warnings that go down the turnpike here. I mean, Jonathan over here counting them out loud. I mean, we have not seen a setup like this in Oklahoma, where the tornado threat is not very high, but it's high enough. But just so many supercells just lining up with the large hail. All of these supercells right here will have the threat of up to golf ball size hail. And so for areas that have been watching the storms in the western sky, Slaughterville, Lexington, Paola, Pauls Valley, Wynnewood, you'll get your storms in here. But right now, all of these storms from the metro down to the south, and even as far north as the Oklahoma-Kansas border here, are predominantly hailers. But now that the sun is setting, we're getting these low-level winds. The low-level jet is just really beginning to increase, and there are no storms down here. And that is not good, because those are just going to feed into these storms, and they're going to help them rotate. And now that the sun is setting, we're going into a bit of a different storm chase mode, where night vision and what our chasers are equipped with is so important. Let's go out to Sky 5 right now on the left-hand side of your television screen. And wow, just look at that lightning. Chase, you are up in the air, Chase. Give us an update on what we're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, this is looking to the north. I mean, we're just to the northeast of Norman area, just crossed over Lake Thunderbird, and we're taking a look back to the north at that all that lightning is starting to get darker and darker, and you're seeing a lot more of that lightning and seeing through it that lowering that we're seeing at that storm, that system that just passed through the Oklahoma City area. We're going to be landing here in just a few minutes for some fuel, but man, it's really lighting up the sky as the storm continues to move off to the northeast, Damon.
Yeah, we can definitely see that there. And again, this coming in from Chase Rutledge up in the air. There's a lot of electricity in these storms, a lot of electricity. So here we are now in Cleveland County, and this is the storm we're watching. This is still a severe thunderstorm warning. There's a lot of heavy rain and more right now, and coming into Norman as well. Where I'm watching for the inflow and the hail, a bit of rotation right here just southeast of Newcastle and just west of Norman. And then here's another area of rotation as well. This thing's rotating a lot, but right now watching a couple of areas where the inflow is coming in. This is still warned on for up to $half size hail. Norman, I know you do not want to hear that one bit, but here we are with this storm moving to the east. And so we're looking at the Riverwind Casino, 825, Sooner Mall, 827. Jonathan, let's slide this over just a little bit here. You're good. You're good. Norman High School here at 831. OU 833, and then we'll get in towards around Norman, downtown Norman, right around 8:30 as well. Derek Klein is on this storm. He's down by the Riverwind Casino. Derek, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Damon, we've been watching this storm now for a little while, and it's got good lift. It's got good inflow at the mid-levels. The low levels, the winds have been fairly light, and that's what's keeping it in check, which is a good thing. So we're continuing to watch it here. The lightning is intense. Again, the mid-level rotation is still very strong, which will enhance that hill size as it comes into Norman. So we've got to watch this closely, and we'll continue to monitor and let you know if it gets any stronger or if it just maintains itself as it moves across the city. Back to you.
Okay, so Derek, you're watching this one real closely for Norman, and as you make way in the Cleveland County and Grady County, we'll check back in with Derek here in just a second. Let's go back up to Tinker Air Force Base, or just east, so out towards Choctaw, and as we make your way into southeastern Oklahoma County here. So a bit of an update. So this tornado warning is gonna drop at least for a bit in about the next minute. Does not mean the tornado threat's over, though. You can still see this area of rotation. And so Hera, south of Choctaw, go ahead and get into your tornado shelter. Same thing even down towards Newalla. And here's the turnpike right here. The new turnpike, because this storm is still spinning as it's moving to the eastern. You can really see where that area of rotation is going to be located. And so just about 1, 2, 3 miles north of I-40 here, and where the I-40, I-240 interchange meet up here. So we're going to be very close to Choctaw and very close to the just south of Choctaw, about 1 mile, but that's what we're watching right here, just right along Southeast 15th Street. And as you make your way just right along, that's going to be Northeast 23rd and Reno Avenue right here. So anyone that's going to be south of Choctaw, and as you make your way out towards Hera and Newalla, you're going to need to be going into innermost room of your house. Storm track to the east here is at 837, McLeod 849, and then Jacktown at 905 with this cell. Excuse me, that's going to be right just north of I-240, northeast of Tinker. So tornado warning once again. This is the same storm that we had that was tornado warned. Now a new severe thunderstorm warning is going to be issued for this. However, I don't think this storm is done yet. I still think this still needs to be monitored, and so we're going to do it scan by scan. You'll notice how the tornado warning polygon just dropped off of our radar, but tornado threat is still there. So can't let anyone, don't want anyone to put their guard down here. So is that a brand new tornado warning? Jonathan?
Yes.
Okay, so brand new tornado warning?
Lincoln, Oklahoma, Potawatomi. So the issued tornado warning that just happened here.
Okay, there you go. And you know what? That's what we're saying. I don't think this thing is done yet. So that tornado warning only dropped off for just about a second, it feels like. And then here we go. Brand new tornado warning now for Choctaw as you make your way towards Rossville, Fowler, McLeod, and Hera. So we're looking now going into southeastern. We're still in southeastern Oklahoma County, and then also portions of Lincoln and Potawatomi County, northern Potawatomi County, parts of Lincoln County, and southeastern Oklahoma County. Here we are right here. This is your area of spin. So Choctaw, innermost room of your house right now. Hera, innermost room of your house or your tornado shelter. Fowler, McLeod, same thing. If you're down by the Grand Casino, you're okay. Again, if you're down by the Grand Casino, you're all right. If you're in Shawnee, this storm is staying just north of you. This area of rotation. Now, we still have the tornado threat, but still watching this. This storm is still rotating. I mean, absolutely. Still finding a couple areas of spin with your inflow right here. Jonathan, what stands out to you?
Right there, Damon.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I mean, Choctaw, it's like 1 mile south of Choctaw. So I'll zoom it in. Highway 62 and Choctaw Road, between Henny and Choctaw Road, just south of Northeast 23rd. It's right there. That's one area of rotation. And then on the leading edge, sometimes you can get some areas of circulation, if not really bad, what we call rear flank downdraft winds. So these winds are going to be bowing out, and these are going to be straight line damaging winds, hammering around the backside. This is really warm air coming down the backside, and it swings around, and you can have a swath like 2 miles of damaging winds. Then tucked in there, you're going to have the tornado, and that tornado is going to be right there. So Northeast 10th and Choctaw Road. So Hera, you're next down the line. Tornado action plan, go now. And then down the line will be McLeod, Fowler, and Jacktown. But I do not like how this is kind of trending right now, Damon. So and again, it's wrapped up in rain, and so you're not going to see it. So this is kind of the worst thing to happen at night, even with our chasers out. That's why we use our first alert Doppler technology there, Damon.
Yeah, and so important to use that, and with the technology that we have in the field and the night vision just really helps out. If you're watching in Edmond, for now you're done. Now we're going to see another phase and another wave of storms come in here later, but right now Edmund, you're good. Let's check back in with Michael. Michael on I-40 near the Turnpike. Give us an update, Michael, with what you're seeing.
Okay, Damon, my 360 cam pointed directly back into that area where it is circulating. It's really tough to see now that we're starting to get to dark, but I'm going to lighten it up if I can here and see if we can see. I don't know if you can see it. It's a massive lowered area back in there, Damon. It is very, very low. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and it'll give the camera a little better contrast. If you notice, that's textbook. That is a textbook supercell right there. Let me just, I'll keep going out a little bit further. This is the inflow band, and you can see it stretches for miles into this storm. Look at that. And then all the lightning back in the rain and hail core, and then there is the circulation that wraps all the way around it, and it is a huge rotating thunderstorm right now. I would say, yeah, folks, if you live in Hera particularly, you need to be in your safe spot right now if you live in Hera. And Damon, just so you know my plan, we're going to come up here just to the east of Dale, just to the east of our Grand Casino cam. You guys might be able to pull up our Grand Casino cam if you can turn it around, and we're going to go up 177 up to near Meeker. So we are going to be moving back out ahead of this storm, but I will tell you, it is really, really striking on the way it looks on my camera right now.
And Michael, we see that even here at the TV station as well. So with what we see coming, just happening right in front of us, with just the amount of lightning and the energy that this storm has, and really all of these storms have right now. And I know we've been focusing a lot on the now, because obviously that's the most important. The most important storm to talk about is always the one that's happening right now. But just kind of a heads up and what's coming later tonight. Edmond to southwest Oklahoma City, we're going to see another flare-up of storms. And so we're not done yet. We are not done yet with the storms. Now, the severe threat should be a bit lower much later tonight thanks to these storms, but they're still going to have the potential to rotate. So this will be a long night. Jones to Choctaw, Hera, Fowler, you are in your shelter moving to the east here. So Hera, 8:32, McLeod, 8:50. Fowler, 8:51, Jacktown, 9 o'clock. Meeker, 9:17. Prague, right around 10 o'clock. All of these communities right here, this is when the storm rotation will be moving right overhead. We're hoping that the tornado threat can come down, but we know what we see right now is that there is a good amount of inflow coming into the storm. And so Choctaw to Hera, you need to be in your shelter. We have Storm Command on this. Let's check in real quick down into Norman. I want to go back to Norman just real quick because we have Derek Klein on this cell. This storm is still severe warned. Let's go out to Derek right now. Derek, give us an update on what's happening right now in Norman.
Damon, we're driving down Highway 9 through Norman, actually coming up past the National Weather Service level rotation, but at the lower levels, there's not a lot of inflow going in. It's actually probably the lightest winds I felt in over a month in Oklahoma, because the winds are only about 5 miles an hour going into this storm. So that's a good thing. That's keeping the storm in check. But that mid-level rotation will give that storm the potential to produce some hail, probably just to the north of downtown Norman right now. But we're headed down Highway 9, just trying to stay out ahead of it as it moves through town. Again, a little bit of rotation, but nothing crazy. It's all mainly in the mid and upper levels of this storm right now. Back to you.
Derek, you just described this storm in such a clear way for, I think, any Oklahoman to understand right now, is that these are the lightest you have felt with the winds. But I want to show you the radar right now. This is the Grand Casino cam. We'll get to this in just a second. Let's go over to the radar down into Norman. The hail core with this cell is going to be right near the Norman Healthplex, right next to Max Westheimer Airport, as this is moving to the east, and it's still showing some rotation. Not very strong, but certainly one to watch. But we're looking at the hail core right now. Our radar picking up on quarter-size hail. That's an improvement. Let's hope we can keep it down in the coin-size variety here for Norman. But from the airport, as you make your way down towards down just on the north side of OU, this is storm moving in this direction. For a lot of us that are still in Norman, you were at the game earlier today. 75,000 people inside the stadium. This is why you're still hanging tight, because of the storm right now. And there is a lot of electricity in this storm, and Derek is watching it, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:45. Norman right now, and then we go to community of Franklin at 8:46. Pink in Pottawatomie County, towards Burnett at 9:11. That is the situation with that storm. Okay, let's go back up to our tornado warning. That is going to be here in Oklahoma, Lincoln, and Pottawatomie County. McLeod, this is for you. Hara, Choctaw, you are still in your shelter. Here's your inflow coming right over Choctaw right now and down towards Jones, moving to the east. Here's Chris Lee in Rossville. The storm moving to the east, moves into Hara at 8:29, Jacktown 8:55, and then we go to Prague at 9:48, and Payton at 10:07. With this storm right here moving to the east, the same storm also going to drop a quick one inch of rain, but we'll see more storms come in here later tonight. Let's check in with Michael. Michael, the inflow is coming right over you into the storm. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
I need you to check CC right now, Damon. I think we've got a tornado debris signature northeast 10th and Luther Road, 2 miles west of Hara and 1 mile south. There's it's small, it's not real strong couplet, but there is a couplet there, and there was a CC drop that was right in tight with it. I think it's tough because that may be associated with a rain, but we may have had a brief tornado just to the southwest of Hara just now. The couplet is still there. It's almost right on top of Hara. It basically is.
Yeah, no, we see it right here. We definitely see it right here. And so what you hear Michael mentioning will be our debris tracker. And so we can see debris up inside of a storm. And so you get these tornadoes that are real brief. And so, but here, this is the turnpike that Michael's referring to. Here's Reno. And so, and then here's going to be Hara. Here's Hara right here. And so that debris signature, that right there, I believe, there you go, right there. That's going to be your weakness. And so where you see that blue, that right there indicates debris that is going to be up inside of the storm. Again, it's real quick, but that's what we're looking at right here. So once again, Hara, you're in your tornado shelter or the innermost room of your house, looking right into there. And there you go. I mean, that is right over northeast 10th and Luther. Here's a turnpike. Here's the new Kickapoo Turnpike. Here's Hara. And so in that right there, northeast 10th and what looks like Elm Street, northeast 10th, and coming into Hara. Hara, tornado shelter now. Innermost room of your house. If you do not have a tornado shelter, this is coming right in literally as we speak. And so anyone that's going to be from Hara and just southwest, this is going to be where your tornado is going to be located. Just south of northeast 23rd Elm and right on top of 10th Street, coming right on into Hara. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, we're watching this couplet real closely. Michael, give us an update.
My goodness, Damon! This is like the 4th of July out here. Look at my stream right now. Look at the lightning. I mean, it is just absolutely continuous. It's almost like daytime because the amount of lightning in this storm. It is incredibly active right now. Right there in the circulation feature. Please take your tornado precautions in Hara. That circulation, it's still spinning. And I'm telling you, I see some really strong velocities also, Damon. It is possible that we might have something else spin up just a little bit north and west of there also. That is going to be up closer to, give me just a second, that's going to be Luther Road and northeast 10th also. So northeast 50th. There's another strong velocity. It's about, I'll tell you what, on radar, if you look at it, it's about 3 miles northwest of Hara. There's another area in there, but both, man, there is a hook echo right on top of Hara. I hate to see that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's why we're telling Hara right now, you're still in your shelter. And so once again, here's what we're watching for Hara, and then this is the other area that's northeast of Choctaw, right along the Kickapoo Turnpike here. So this area of rotation, and then Hara, once again, you are still in your shelter right now. This storm has 2 areas of rotation with it, moving to the east. Here's Chris Lee out near Fowler and Jacktown, but Hara, you are still in your shelter, and then just northeast of Choctaw. Choctaw, you're okay. Choctaw, you're all right now. This storm is now northeast of you, but we're just now west of the Kickapoo Turnpike and just right along northeast 50th. Northeast 50th, that's going to be rain wrapped. That is going to be rain wrapped. Right now it is 8:27. There's your rotation. Here's your rotation. Hara, once again, you're still in your shelter. Same thing if you're going to be 2 miles northwest of Hera as well. Both of these moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Still watching this right now. Here's your area of spin. This is your rotation. Sirens are sounding. This is why, Hera, for this area right over town, literally right on top of town right now, you can see where we've highlighted your rotation just 1 mile east of the Kickapoo Turnpike, and right now just on the south side of Hera. This is moving to the east, and so McLeod 834, Fowler 843, Meeker 906, Prague at 940. With this storm moving to the east. So we're watching this area spin, and then this one that Michael was referring to just moments ago. Control room, if we have our Grand Casino camera, this can give us a bit of a different view here. We're looking up to the northwest. Jonathan, you have this aiming into the northwestern sky out of Dale and McLeod. Jonathan, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Dan, I've been watching on the side for the last couple minutes, and the lightning is kind of impacting the exposure, the lens of the camera, but embedded in there just like about a minute ago, looked like there was some sort of like cone. It didn't look like it condensated all the way down to the ground, but it was right over Hera, and that's where that circulation couplet is. And so both of those kind of verifying that this would be a potential tornado. I mean, the circulation's not that real classic hook echo-like look, but boy, I see on velocity, you got to fine-tune, look at all the little details, get right down to ground level, and that's what I'm seeing. The area of circulation is going to be 1 mile east of Hera, northeast 23rd, and Pot Road. That's where the circulation is going to be there, Damon. And like Michael said, there's another little area of circulation about 3 miles northwest of Hera. That second little area, we'll have to watch for that. But the main area now northeast, east of Hera, Pot Road, northeast 23rd. And so kind of using all our tools here. Chris Lee's also inbound. He is in Jacktown. So he's going to be 8 miles to the east, and so what he's going to be looking for is power flashes. And so we have the storm kind of surrounded, camera, radar, Chris Lee, but that's the latest on that. And that area of circulation, again, 2 areas.
Yeah.
But they're both about the same. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, and these are both very well. Could be, I mean, now that we're in the evening here, I'm still very concerned about not only this one right over Hera, but yeah, this one right here. We have 2 tornadoes that are in 2 areas of rotation that are occurring simultaneously right now. One right on just west of the Kickapoo Turnpike. This has Rossville in sight. This one that's east of Hera has Fowler and close to Jacktown. No matter what, just looking downstream, both Rossville and Jacktown, both of these are moving in your direction. And so you're in your shelter, absolutely. Who's no longer in a tornado warning? Tinker, Del City, OKC, you're good. Everything's looking fine for now. We'll see another wave of storms later tonight, but we're doing okay. This is the only tornado warning in the state right now. Only one tornado warning in the entire state, and this is it. We have Michael on this. We have Chris on this as well, watching 2 areas of spin right over the Kickapoo Turnpike, just northeast of Choctaw, northwest of Hera. And now our next area of rotation is going to be just east of Hera. Both of these moving to the east. McLeod, 834, Fowler, 842, Jacktown, 850, Meeker, 904, Prague, 938, Boley at 1010. All these communities right here, that's when this area of rotation is going to be right overhead. So these storms are moving pretty quickly to the east for Oklahoma tornado warning standards, about 30 miles per hour. That's pretty fast. You're going to get a decent amount of rain for this, too, on top of it. That's good. What's not good, all the other stuff coming with it, which will be the threat for severe weather. Our crews are out left-hand side of your television screen, from Shane Helton to Derek Klein to Storm Command to Chris Lee, Sky 5 as well, and watching these storms moving to the east. Let's check back in with Michael. Michael on this tornado warning, watching these 2 areas of spin closely near Hera. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Okay, Damon, right now what we're seeing is that area of circulation is still there. It's not as strong as what it was. It is a few miles east of Hera now, just barely. So I would say, yeah, it's definitely weaker. There is another area, though, just northwest of McLeod, and it is not as intense, but this whole area seems to be moving into an area where it's going to be maybe more favorable for either what we call the QLCS or quick spin up tornadoes. It just seems like the environment is getting a little bit more conducive for that over here in eastern parts of Oklahoma County. So listen, we're going to keep tracking it all the way into Lincoln County. We've got you guys covered in Minker, over to the east of Hara, all the way up to Sparks, even over toward Prague. We have got this covered. Chris Lee's here. I'm here. We're gonna see if it happens. You're seeing this just incredible lightning show. I mean, I've seen a lot of lightning, Damon. This is pretty wild.
Yeah, absolutely. We see it there as well. So a quick update as well. We're watching this. Also, tornado warning down in Lawton right now as well, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Let's go down into Norman. Let's get a check-in with Derek Klein. I want to check in with him real quick, and down in Cleveland County, still seeing the storm right over Norman as you make way to Sooner Road and Franklin. This is a severe thunderstorm warning and brand new warning as well, just issued. This is for Cleveland County here for quarter-size hail. So the hail sizes have come down. Let's check in with Derek. Derek, still seeing at least a bit of rotation here on the east side of Norman. Give us an update with what you're seeing, Derek.
Yeah, Damon. So we're still out ahead of this storm. We're just trying to navigate ourselves around Lake Thunderbird right now as we get in front of it. In my 360 shot, though, you can see these streaks, these dark clouds and the bright flashes right there. That is the mid-level inflow being pulled into that storm. So that's that inflow that we're talking about. As long as the storm has that, it'll continue to try to intensify. But we're out ahead of it. The lowering is there, but again, just that low levels is not really there right now. But we're going to continue to watch this as it moves to the east. It's going to cross probably right over the top of the north side of Lake Thunderbird as the heads up and starts to get a little bit closer towards I-40 here pretty soon. So we'll continue to watch it as it moves past Norman. Back to you, Damon.
Okay, I know you will there, Derek. Right now watching this storm. And so Norman, this storm warned on for quarters. Right now that's going to be just a few miles east of Sooner Road. Right here, again, quarter-size hail. Very well could be a slightly larger hailstone embedded with a lot of rain, headed right over Franklin, the town of Franklin. Here you can see our radar is picking up some pretty large hail up aloft. A bit of that is melting coming down. Let's go back up to this tornado warning that's going to be up for Fowler and McLeod. McLeod, the warning, the sirens are going off. The storm coming in right here. And so McLeod right now, rotation with this cell, and we can see it here very close to McLeod. As a matter of fact, it's where you see the green just getting wrapped right up into this. And so we're north of I-40, Grand Casino, but we have Michael and Chris both on this storm, moving to the east. So Clifton 902, Meeker 902, Johnson 908, and Prague at 930 as well. So area of spin coming right over McLeod right now, and so rotation is certainly going to be there. And again, we'll check in with Chris Lee and Storm Command here just a bit. The storm is certainly pushing out some pretty strong winds as well. You can see them surging out just now north and east of Newalla. So McLeod, you're going to get some pretty strong winds coming in as well. If you're watching in Shawnee, this will likely stay just north of you in Shawnee, right and just north of I-40. Still, though, northern Pottawatomie County, watching this one real closely. Okay. We'll go back to this in just a second. I want to go down the road because we do have a brand new tornado warning. We'll just let's go ahead and kind of give you the big view here. Guthrie North, you're good for storms now. And really, most of the storms for the rest of the night are going to be concentrated from OKC down to the southwest. This is a tornado warning. We're still west of Lawton, down by Mount Scott. So we still have a ways to go with this storm, but if you are watching in southern Grady County, we're keeping a close eye on this one for you because here's your area of rotation that is going to be on the southwest side of Lawton here. See right here, Jonathan highlighting this. And so this is our fourth tornado warning of the day. This is going to be down in towards Comanche County. So we're going to watch this one. But right now, this is south of Lawton, moving up to the northeast. And so for Rush Springs, as you make way in the northern Stevens County, we're going to keep a real mindful eye on this area spin because eventually downstream, the storm can hold together. This is going to be looking at Lexington and Purcell a little bit later. So right now, though, everyone here from Marlow to Rush Springs to Bray right before 10 o'clock. Okay, let's go back up the road. Back up into the metro, give an update on what's happening. We have a lot of storms, a lot of warnings too, by the way. From Ninnekah to Alec, this storm right here has, here's your hail core just southeast of Ninica. That's headed up to the northeast towards Dibble, Kreiner, Washington. This is quarter-size hail with this cell and winds of 60 miles per hour. But still, without anything obstructing it down to the southeast, still has the ability to rotate a bit as it continues to move to the east. Right now, it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but we're going to watch it from Ninica to Agawam as you make your way up towards Cole and eventually towards Kreiner and Washington. So severe thunderstorm warning. Alec, 850, Dibble, 912, Payne at 920, Cole, Washington, and Goldsby between 920 and 930 with that storm moving up to the northeast. Okay, let's go back in and get a radar update on our tornado warning that's going to be north of McLeod. And so now we're in McLeod, Pottawatomie County. Let's check in with Chris Lee. Chris, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, I am in the Jacktown area. That's the area 62 and Highway 177. We're moving east, looking backwards towards and a little bit south towards the McLeod area, the area north of McLeod. I can see an inflow area there. Nothing lower appears, but almost constant lightning, as you can tell. But it's very difficult even with the infrared on the camera because you get a lot of lightning from the front and you get lightning from the back, and it's hard to tell exactly what you're looking at. But that is an inflow area that we're watching as it moves to the east, and we'll be watching as we head towards the Meeker area.
Okay, Chris Lee, we're going to watch this one again. Chris Lee's keeping a close eye on this one. You can see with his night vision there, that technology is so important to have when the sun goes down and we're still tracking these storms. There's a lot of electricity in these storms as well. So we're still keeping a close eye on this storm for Jacktown, the Fowler, McLeod as well, northern Pottawatomie, southern Lincoln County. This storm is going to likely hug right along the county line here and keep moving to the east here. So and eventually head towards Prague and Arlington. So right now, tornado warning remains in place for Lincoln and Pottawatomie County. Jacktown at 851, Clifton 905, Prague 937, and then all the way down to Welty at 1035 with this storm. And so if you're just now tuning in, what do you need to know about for the rest of the night? We had the severe threat right now. We're going to see a flare-up of more storms later tonight. And that's going to ramp up the flood potential as well. We do have a flood watch, by the way, in place for pretty much from the metro down to the south. But more storms are coming in right now from Bridge Creek into Moore, so we're not done with the heavy rain. And this warning that does extend into Stella, up towards the Grand Casino west of Shawnee. Derek Klein is on this one. This is warned on right now for quarter-size hail and winds of 60. So storms are surging to the east. And then if you have not had any rain yet, we understand South Slaughterville, Lexington, Purcell, Wynnewood, Sulphur, Davis. Your storm threat is now beginning to develop here. And you can see all these storms that are now just west of you. So we're going to see these storms come in as well a little bit later this evening, and then another flare-up of storms after midnight. It's going to be a very noisy night, absolutely. Still, though, watching these storms surging to the east, Oklahoma County, we're good for a while. So OKC, you're doing all right. Still watching this storm, though, making its way. And so have Michael Armstrong on this. Let's check in with Michael. And this tornado warning that is currently going to be near McLeod. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Okay, Damon, very ragged lowerings. There's a number of them. At times, it looks like a little bit a semblance of a funnel, and then it kind of goes away. So it kind of matches up with radar, how it'll kind of tighten up a little bit, and it'll start to weaken. And we're actually getting ready to drop down. We're getting so many storms, Damon. We're going to start handing these off. So Chris Lee is going to handle this storm that's just on the north side of Dale and McLeod. I know he's kind of moving over east toward Meeker, where he can get a nice view of the whole storm as it comes at him. I'm going to be transitioning down toward the storm that's down near Lake Thunderbird. It has produced some really strong winds here recently. Measured wind gusts to 66 miles per hour, Damon, in the Norman area with this storm. So it does have some really intense wind coming toward Pink and Shawnee. Derek's going to be moving back down to that other storm that's moving up toward Purcell. Another supercell that's down near Ellick, just east of Agawam as well. So three supercells right now, and Chris is going to have the one with the tornado warning along with Shane, and we're dropping south. So I just wanted to give you an update. But man, that sure does look low there on my 360 cam. It looks very suspect at times.
It absolutely does, and certainly this time of the year, you can get tornadoes that quickly spin up. even when they don't look that pretty. And so there are certain days when you have those big, large wedge tornadoes. We hate those. We hate all tornado days, really. But this time of the year, you can get these quick spin-ups. And so that's what we're watching. And again, we've seen at least this storm right here do that. It did it over Tinker Air Force Base, and it did it out towards Tuttle and Minco even earlier this evening. So, and it's still doing it, even moving right along and just north of I-40, Grand Casino, Shawnee Mall, north of Shawnee. So this threat still continues with this storm. So Storm Command, he's watching it closely. Chris Lee, he's in Meeker right now. He's watching this closely as well. For those of us from Adalot, towards Belmont, towards Prague, right now we do not have any warnings yet, but be ready for this storm to get a new warning issued downstream. Brand new update to pass along. Tornado warning no longer in effect for Oklahoma County. That is good. So the tornado warning is no longer in effect for Oklahoma County. The threat, though, still continues from McLeod down towards Fowler. Here's your inflow coming into the storm. The hail out of these storms have not been that large either. Hail sizes have come down quite a bit as well. Still looking at some quarters from Fowler to McLeod and this polygon that stretches from Rossville as you make your way down towards McLeod. But right now, quarter-size hail here. Quarter-size hail with this storm as well from Belmar to Stella. A lot of the data that we've been watching, as these storms moved east of I-35, they were going to encounter some less instability, some lower instabilities. And so that's going to help at least hopefully keep this risk for tornadoes a bit down. It's not zero, but at least the risk is going to be down a bit. Here's your area of rotation now just on the northeast side of Dale, McLeod, Grand Casino, moving to the northeast. This current track with that area of spin, and we're talking about the very southern fringe of this tornado warning, would be in Johnson at 9:03, Belmont 9:13, Prague at 9:24, and Payne at 9:38 with that cell right there. Moving to the east. Shawnee, this will likely stay just north of you by just a few miles, but still right over I-40 and just northeast of the Grand Casino. That's the latest with this storm. Let's go down the road, check on the other tornado warning that we have, because that will likely spread up to the northeast and eventually come into southern Grady County. So right now we're still in Comanche County, but this current storm, if you're in Rush Springs, here's your area of rotation right here, just right over Lawton, like literally right over Lawton. So that's moving up to the northeast. And so at this current track, and let me just get an update real quick on the storm speed with these. Most of these storms have been moving at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. This one, there you go, 35 miles per hour. It's also warned on for golf ball size hail. This area, southern parts of the state, has a bit more instability, but this moving at 35 miles per hour, and there's your hail core right over Lawton. Lawton right about now. We go into Marlow at 9:29, Rush Springs 9:34, Bray at 9:42. We're going to watch this one for southern Grady County as this continues to move up to the northeast. We'll likely clip a portion of Stevens County, but at this current track, it's probably going to have a bit more of a Grady County track with it, especially down to the south. And it's going to roll back up into an area that we already have a thunderstorm happening right now where that's warned on. Hopefully that can help kind of munch away at some of this instability and weaken this storm. But certainly the risk is still going to be there with this cell moving up to the northeast. So we're working so many storms right now. And with all of these storms embedded within them are these areas of rotation. Western Oklahoma, I know you would love to get the rain. Not tonight. So again, this is all going to be at I-44 and south and southeast. Really, I-44 will be kind of the border where we get a lot of rain and hardly any rain. So putting a track with this cell near Ninnekah and just near Alec here. Here's your inflow into the cell. Still warned on for quarter-size hail, moving to the east at 30 to 35 miles per hour from Grady to McLean County here. So Dibble 908. Washington 923, Lexington 936, Slaughterville 939, and then starting to get back into the Lake Thunderbird area right around 10 o'clock with this storm. These fast-moving storms, they can certainly move in pretty quickly. Okay, let's go back up to our tornado warning, get an update on what this is looking like right here. As a matter of fact, Chris Lee in Meeker, watching this area just west of him. Let's go out to Chris Lee. The storm is still spinning here, and brand new. Looks like the tornado warning, which, by the way, the tornado warning looks like it's been replaced temporarily with a severe thunderstorm warning. We saw this happen earlier where we had the warning, the tornado warning. It dropped, and then it was quickly reissued. So we're not putting our guard down yet because you can still see this storm is still rotating quite a bit. Let's check in with Chris Lee, currently in Meeker. Chris, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, sirens going off in Meeker. A lot of police officers rushing around, checking things out, making sure everything's as they can see anything. We're looking at another area of rotation down towards 177 and I-40. That's going to be moving up to the northeast, but well to the south of Meeker. That seems to be a little more the concern at this point. Have not seen anything that looked particularly lowered or, looking in the lighting, we're able to see the cloud base fairly well and have not seen anything that we're just overly concerned about. Haven't seen any power flashes coming from the ground. But we're going to be dropping south a little bit from Meeker and checking this new area of rotation out and let you know how that looks. Damon?
Hey, Chris, we're going to keep a close contact with you right now. This tornado warning, once again, still finding these areas of rotation. And green is usually weak rotation, moderate rotations when you see the brown picking up here. And we are seeing that. Jonathan here highlighting that on the radar with our rotation tracker. Jonathan, you get into these type of storm modes where rotation pretty much kind of is all up and down this line. So we got to look at each scan closely, but I see you're highlighting a couple areas east of Jacktown and pretty close to Shawnee Mall.
It gets messy, Damon. This is where I have to earn my keep. The big supercells with the big hook and the big inflow notch and the gate-to-gate shear. I mean, I think most Oklahomans going to be like, that's where the mesocyclone is and that's where the tornado is. But this, these hybrid storms, they're real dirty. They have a lot of precip with them. It's really hard to pick out the circulation. May not for you at home, you may not see it, but for me, and especially Michael's one of the best. I don't know how he does. He's out, in the middle of the storm, lightning, hail. He's in storm command. They're navigating, and he'll pick up on them too. And that's what we'll look at. And so, like this area right here, and this is exactly what. So I'm looking at the raw data. Now I'm going to use our shear product. Oh, look at that. It's in the exact same spot. And so you go from the dark green, the light green, then you pop to the red. That's the area of circulation that could indicate potential rotation, could indicate potential tornado. Now, some of the verbiage from the National Weather Service in this storm, like we've been saying, this is a very strong storm. Has a lot of lightning, potential for a big swath, maybe some damaging winds, embedded tornado circulations, okay? Now, I think the worst of the winds are going to be north of I-40. So Shawnee, guess what? Michael's right there. He has you covered. But I think the worst of the winds, as of right now, will be north of Shawnee. We'll go back to the velocity, and we'll switch over to shear. Yep, that is the absolute worst right now. And it's moving east-northeast at about 25, 30 miles an hour. On that storm track, and what we'll do here, I'll let you see what that looks like. So let me loop the storm. Watch that area right through there. Push off to the east. It's not bowing out, and I don't see new areas of circulation on the south side, not quite yet. Now, that being said, storms can do certain things where you have one area of circulation, a new one could form. So we always have to watch this what we call tail and Charlie down here. That would be the southern side of the storm. That's where new areas of circulation can form. So the main one, Chris is looking at it. Chris Lee is, and then the secondary circulation that could form, new mesocyclone could form, would be west of Shawnee. But I don't see anything right there that looks real significant. But that's why Michael's right there, Damon.
Yeah, and having these chasers in our team, from Shane, Charlie to Michael, Chris, Derek, I mean, having their eyes on the ground really helps us out. And so an update on this cell. So the tornado warning still remains in effect for about 9 more minutes. And then it's going to transition, at least temporarily, into severe thunderstorm warning. Doesn't mean the tornado threat's over. It's just that at least things have come down. But I'm telling you, and Jonathan highlighted this area real well. This is what we're watching right here. And so 2 miles north of the Shawnee Mall, near Adelot, right here. And this is right where Chris Lee is. As a matter of fact, may want to get Chris Lee on the phone here because this is about to roll right over Chris. And so let's go out to Chris Lee if we have him available, because he's right in front of this. Chris, looking just west of you by no more than probably a couple hundred feet. Our radar is picking up quite the couplet here. Chris Lee, give us an update on what you're seeing just west of you.
Yeah, just as you came to us, we got a very strong wind gust from out of the west with a very heavy rain burst just for a second. I think that's what that rotation, the edge of that rotation was. We're moving east with it and getting a lot of very strong winds now. Winds probably 50, 60 mile an hour range.
So, Chris, just so you know, and I want to show everyone at home what our radar is indicating. Chris, I very well think you may have just gotten hit by a weak tornado. Very brief, but I want to go back. Jonathan, let's go back to our rotation tracker. Here's Chris right here, very close to the town of Ada. And that is where our rotation tracker is right on top of Chris. I mean, when you're looking at tornadoes like this, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Absolutely. And that's exactly, Chris is right on top of this thing. And so, Chris, and you just heard him just mention, he's like, I just got hit by a quick burst of winds. And so that very well was likely at least a quick spin-up tornado. May not have been very strong, but wow. So, Chris Lee, be safe out there. I mean, this thing's right on top of you and probably now just a few feet to your east, literally, as we see you driving to the east. Actually, Chris, let me go back out to you real quick. Chris, I know you're in a rural part here of the county, but have you seen any power flashes either behind you or in front of you?
Yeah, Damon, I wasn't able to hear you. When we first saw that there at Ada, there was wind from one direction and then very quickly from the other direction. So, yes, I do believe that was probably the circulation that passed over. What we saw was probably, 60 mile an hour wind. It was very gusty, and as you know, when it goes from one side to the other side really quickly, it's very jarring. But it wasn't strong enough to pick anything up that I could see, and we just certainly didn't see.
Yeah. So, and Chris, by the way, so Chris kind of in and out of an area with spotty cell coverage. He was mentioning probably felt like winds around 60 miles per hour with that, which feels like lately we've been getting that on a sunny day. But here's the circulation right here moving to the east, and it's pretty much just going, it's right behind Chris. So, Shawnee, this is just north of you, but we're still watching this storm and what is likely going to be some pretty strong winds and a quick spin-up tornado threat. And we're still picking up this couplet right here, now just about a mile east of the town of Ada, which is right on top of where Chris is. And so, moving to the east here, this is going to be just north of Johnson and headed towards Belmont and Prague. And we are going to be now on the Lincoln County side of this, just right along the river. Just right along the river here. So the tornado warning will expire here in about 4 minutes, but the severe thunderstorm warning is going to cover all of us downstream. So we're going to watch out for at least these quick spin-up tornado threats here. But my goodness, Jonathan, what do you have?
Southwest, we got a tornado warning coming in for Comanche, Grady, and Stevens now. So that storm down near Lawton.
Okay.
I think they've issued a new tornado warning, which is now Rush Springs, Marlow, Bray. Watch out. Here we go, that tail end storm.
Yeah, you're right. And so, yeah, Comanche, Stevens, and Grady County here. And by the way, Lawton just had a 77 mile per hour wind gust at the airport, right over the observation, or right over the weather station there. So here's your inflow into this. And so for Lindsay, you're not yet in the tornado warning. However, Lindsay, we're watching this one for you because this is on path to come up in towards eventually Lindsay and down towards Bradley. So, but as Jonathan was mentioning, quite the hook there, just right over the town of Lawton, coming now on the east side of Lawton here. And look at that right there. That is not what you want to see. And what I hate about this is that there's just no storms down to the south to obstruct this. So you have these low-level winds that are just feeding right into the storm. And so anytime that you have a clear inflow into a storm, that's going to ramp up your tornado potential. That's exactly what's happening right here east of Lawton. So this tornado warning right now, this is for Comanche, northern Stevens, southern Grady County. This is also going to be important for McLean County, and even as you make your way downstream. So that's why we're watching it for Lindsay to eventually Purcell, Lexington, Washington, and just south of Norman. So we're not done with the tornado threat. Again, this tornado watch remains in effect until midnight. Right now it is almost 9 o'clock. We still have another 3 hours to go, but we are going to see a couple waves of storms go up here. And so here's our next wave of storms that's now developing down to the southwest. And eventually this is just going to turn into a big blob of rain, but we're not there yet. We still have a couple hours to go before this, before all of this will turn into more of a rain threat and less of a tornado threat. So we're going to watch this one from Rush Springs up towards going into northern Stevens County. Let's go back up to the metro. There are some thunderstorms right now coming into Moore and Norman. Just give you an update on what these cells are doing right here. And so what's in Moore right now, that is not severe. Goldsby, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning. But the storms that are right now from the airport to Moore, nice rain out of this. Severe thunderstorm warning for this, which will come up just south of the Riverwing Casino. This is still dropping quarter-size hail. It still has a bit of a hook on it. So has some inflow. It's not tornado warned, but still watching it. Here's another warning for Stella to Pink. This is for quarter-size hail. Looks like it's probably pushing out some winds right here, so this might still have some inflow into it. You can see it right here, kind of feeding into it. And then we saw this tornado warning at least for another minute or so. That's just kind of rolling right down where Chris Lee is. But putting a track with this into Bethel Acres for this warning right here for quarter-size hail and winds of 60. Bethel Acres at 9:13, Gaddy 9:16, Shawnee at 9:24. The Shawnee Mall there on the north side of the highway. 2 minutes later, Johnson the Neal at 9:36, 9:37. Seminole State College at 9:47, and then Prague at 9:55. Let's check back in with Chris Lee. Chris Lee watching this one closely. These storms, right? Still has a bit of rotation with it, just east of Ada. Chris, give us an update on what you're seeing.
South of Ada.
Okay.
Looking back, and you can see a lowering. I think hopefully you can see it on my 360 camera in night vision mode. It's not as defined as it was, but it's definitely a lower area in the clouds, and that seems to correlate with the area that we're seeing on radar of rotation. So we're trying to kind of stick with that and follow it as it goes, kind of in a east-northeasterly direction.
All right, Chris, we're watching. We're gonna keep in close contact with you there, Chris Lee, out near Ada. By the way, if you're just now tuning in, we are now simulcasting on MeTV as well. So you can pick us up both on KOCO5 and MeTV simulcasting. And right now, still watching this area of spin that is going to be southwest of Prague. Prague, we're keeping a close eye on this one for you. Prague, we know you're in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. That goes until 9:45, but we're still watching for these quick spin-up tornadoes that can spin up along the leading edge of this as these storms move to the east. There's your rotation north of Johnson, and even spreading up here east of Meeker. Pretty much, as Jonathan mentioned earlier, it's kind of a hybrid here where this entire line here is just going to have spin-ups right along the leading edge as it's moving to the east. But right now, the strongest winds are right here, right on the county line here with Pottawatomie and Lincoln County. That's moving towards Prague. We have Chris Lee on that as well right now. So Shane Helton there north of Rossville. We have Chris Lee here west of Prague. Storm Command down by Shawnee. Derek Klein down to the south, but still watching these cells. Let's check in with Michael Armstrong currently in Shawnee. They're in the leading edge with this warning. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, right now we are on the south side of Shawnee watching this lowered area that's moving. And I'll tell you what, the storm is starting to look a little bit more organized. Now, not so much from the velocity standpoint, from the Doppler velocities, but from the intensity side, from what your people are normally used to seeing, the intensities or the reflectivity, the notches is starting to look a little bit more, again, suspect. So we're going to be watching this area super close as it comes in toward Bethel Acres. It's just to the northwest of Pink, and that's going to be moving over towards Shawnee. It looks very ominous on radar, but as of right now, I don't see anything that is tornadic about it, but it's certainly something we have our eyes peeled on. You're still seeing a lot of lightning. That doesn't seem like there's quite as much lightning with this particular cell as what there was before with the other storm up north. So that's hampering our view a little bit. but this is still a very impressive looking storm that's coming in toward Bethel Acres, just to the northwest of Pink. And there you saw it. There you saw it really kind of light up the whole base right underneath there in the lightning view. So when the lightning struck, we can see it a lot better now. So it's moving closer to us now as it's coming in right over here on the south side of Shawnee. We're right on 177. Again, we're just south of 270, the business 270 on the southwest side of Shawnee, right here along the river.
Yeah, Michael, we can see you there, and so we are watching this storm, and obviously these are severe thunderstorm warnings that are inside of a tornado watch. So always got to watch every cell real closely, every scan real closely. That is why we're here, and we're not going anywhere until the threat is over. But right now, at this moment, it is 9:03, and so these are all severe thunderstorm warnings east of Oklahoma City, and we have one tornado warning that is currently south. We'll get to that in just a moment, but putting a track with this storm moving to the east here, and you can still see the inflow coming into it. Bethel Acres, about 10 minutes from now. Bethel High School there, 9:15. Shawnee High School and Shawnee at 9:25. Ada-Lot, 9:33. Down to Belmont, 9:47. Little and Prague, 9:53 to 9:57. And so we're going to watch this one real closely. You can see on the bottom of your television screen, we have a tornado warning for Grady County, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. By the way, that's first storm coming out of Lawton. But still watch, man, some real strong winds out of this. This is really picking up some pretty strong winds. You can see they're pretty broad as well. I mean, if you're in Belmont or Prague, I'm getting away from west-facing windows, because those are going to be some winds that very well could be pushing close to 70 miles per hour with that storm moving up to the east here. So with this storm, good amount of rain, by the way, 2 inches of rain in OKC, but putting a track to the east here at about 30 miles per hour, goes into Belmont at 9:08. Prague at 9:18, Boley here at 9:44, and then all the way down to Welty at 10 o'clock. Strong winds. Still can find a few pockets of moderate rotation out of this, but there are some strong winds, and this could very well push up close to 70 miles per hour for Prague to Arlington. So the threat is not over yet with these, and eventually these are going to lift up to the northeast. But all that bright pink that you see, those are some really strong winds. Some real strong winds. So again, we're just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little over 5 miles west of Prague. But Prague, these are going to move in here. Right now, it's about 9:05. We're looking at just a few minutes here, about 10 minutes, and these are coming in. So just a heads up, you're about to get hit with some pretty strong winds. Let's check in with Chris Lee. Chris, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, we are coming up right on the county line, Potawatomi-Lincoln County line, to the south and west of Prague. Watching an area, it's still back to our west slightly, a lowered area. Doesn't seem to be that close to the ground yet. Go ahead. Right. Go the other way. But hang on. Walter, you're going the wrong way. We got to go the other way. But we're kind of watching it, and we can see it fairly well most of the time when we're not blocked by trees, and we have a pretty good idea. Like I said, it's not getting that close to the ground, but it is an area that we're watching, and corresponds with that area on radar.
Okay, Chris, we'll come back out to you in just a second. And so, excuse me, but this is what we're watching right here, this area of spin that's going to be now just west of Meeker, in between Meeker and Prague. And so right along the highway between Meeker and Prague. And so right along County Road 3480, 3470, where Jonathan has highlighted. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but as we've seen for a couple years now, you get these quick spin-up tornadoes. They do not last long, but they do last long enough. And when you see something like this, that red and that green are coming up against each other, that's your rotation, that's your couplet. Meeker, you're okay. This is east of you. Prague, we're looking just west-northwest. But Prague, you also have some strong winds that are now about to blow into town any moment now. And so this is warned on for 70-mile-an-hour winds. The amount of damage that you can get with straight line 70-mile-an-hour winds is considerable. So that's enough to knock out power. So Prague, these strong winds, this pocket of strong winds is about to blow right into town here any minute now. Again, we're just about 3 miles west of town, and this is moving to the east here. So Prague, heads up. We have Chris Lee here watching it for you. He's down right in towards the community of Belmont, which can be about 2 miles southwest of Prague. But just a heads up, strong winds here, circulation here. Both are moving towards the town of Prague. And so still watching this one. We're gonna come back to this in just a second. I do want to go down to our tornado warning that we currently have. That's gonna be northeast of Lawton. And so, and does come into southern Grady County here. So right now, right over the town of Bethel. And so, and that is going to be east of Lawton here. So we're looking in the Stevens and Comanche County right now, and parts of southern, excuse me, Grady County, down by Rush Springs. But this storm moving up to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. And this is the only tornado warning we have right now in the state. Central High, 915, Marlow, 928. We go to Aaron Springs at 10:07 with this tornado warning, and even looking outside of this polygon from Wayne to Paola to Pauls Valley to Wynnewood up to Lexington and Purcell. We're watching this one for you. I know you have not had any storms yet today, but your atmosphere is untouched down here from Payne to Pauls Valley. There's a decent amount of instability in place to keep the risk for severe weather alive and well with that particular cell right there. Remember, we have this tornado watch in place for all of central Oklahoma until midnight. Really north of Oklahoma City, all the way to Ponca City, we're not seeing any more storms. Those are now lifted up to northeast. So if you're north of I-40, you really only had one shot of storms today, and we already had those go up. If you're south of I-40, we're looking at 2 waves of storms. What we have on the radar right now, and then what's also showing signs of now developing, that is going to be down by Hobart and west of Lawton, and you see these warnings now that are going to be north of Frederick. And so it's going to be, we're here for a while. We are here for the long haul. And until these storms are pretty much no longer severe, we're not going anywhere, because this is Oklahoma in the springtime, and so every radar scan, we got to watch. What's happening in Moore right now, you're good. That's a nice thunderstorm in Moore. What we're seeing right now west of Prague, this is not good. These are still some strong winds, 70 miles per hour. Here's Chris Lee, Shane Helton right now north of Shawnee, and still seeing an inflow into the storm that Jonathan is highlighting. And Jonathan, when you're highlighting this really well, because we're really working 2 hazards here, the straight line winds in that rotation couplet there on the north side. What are you seeing?
Well, this storm is not a classic supercell, I'll tell you that much. You know, a lot of times when we talk about tornado warnings, you see the big hook echo coming around. This was kind of a hybrid. The area of circulation I've highlighted in the blue circle. That's the area of circulation, and the blue arrow is the inflow pulling up and around. Now, just in the time that I drew that arrow and we had an update to radar, you can see it's moved a little bit, so I'll clear that out again. Again, there's not necessarily dry air, but you know, that's the inflow notch. That is humid air pumping into the storm and clearing out. So that's the inflow notch. And a lot of times in the northern side of that kind of little mini Boeing structure, you can get an area of circulation. So that's, again, we're using rainfall rates or reflectivity. The bigger the raindrops, the bigger the hail, the brighter the colors, right? The heavier the rain. Now here's the velocity part of it. And so you have that inflow coming in, and then this right here where you have a maximum velocity area and a minimum, so you don't necessarily need gate to gate, but you have a high velocity stream with nothing, and that's like a paddle in a river, and it's spinning, and that is 1, 2, 3 miles northwest of Chris Lee. Prague, where is it from you? It's about 5 miles to your northwest. Arlington, it's about 5 miles to your southwest. So Sparks, Meeker, Clifton, it's off to your east. It's moving away from you, but eventually it'll move to the northeast and move towards Aaron, Payton, Welty. But pretty soon it'll be out of the KOCO viewing area there, Damon. But we're watching real closely. That's area circulation. Technically, doesn't have a tornado warning with it, but these hybrid storms with this type of shear or change of wind direction with height. That's what we're seeing. Southeast surface winds, and as you go up to the jet stream comes back to the southwest. It's changing wind direction with height. You can get these areas of rotation. You can get these couplets. And again, they're not classic looking. They're kind of dirty, kind of ugly, but I've highlighted the area of circulation, Damon.
Yeah, and you've done a really good job with that, because you're right. I mean, reading a radar is very difficult. I mean, there's all these colors all over the place, but being able to find these little features amongst all of this really is quite something. So good job there, Jonathan. Once again, severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45, and still watching these winds coming in. The hail has really come down with this, which is good. Hail sizes appear to now be below quarters. So now we're in the pennies and pea size, which is good. But the winds, I think the winds are really going to probably be one of the bigger threats that we're going to see as we go into the rest of the evening. Yes, we're still going to have some hail threats, but it does not appear that, at least with this cluster of storms, that we're going to see the half dollars and golf ball and ping pong ball size hailstones like we had earlier this evening when these storms were fresh. And so there you go. The hail sizes have come down here. Otherwise, we're still finding a few pockets. This is quarter size hail that our radar is picking up, and probably going to find that right over the Grand Casino down towards Bethel Acres. As a matter of fact, let's check back in with Michael. Michael, watching these storms coming in just west of you. Michael, how they look from your vantage point?
Well, I'm starting to get more concerned about Shawnee. I want people in Shawnee to just be ready. You don't have to take your precautions yet, but I want you to be ready. I'm tilting up through the radar scans, and I'm seeing a notch that's developing just south of Dale. If you want to have Jonathan take the radar and tilt it up just a couple of degree scans, it's starting to get a little bit more of a look to it, to where it may start trying to wrap up closer down to the surface. It hasn't yet. It's still up above the ground, but this is straight north of Bethel Acres. I'm going to try to give you an exact location on what I'm seeing. I'm seeing inbounds along Pecan Grove Road, and the north-south road is Bethel Road. Okay, and that's basically right where it's at. So Pecan Grove and Bethel Road, and then that's going to track right along where the Shawnee Mall is. I know Shane's right up there. If you can hear me, go to I-40 right now, and then plan on going east over toward Johnson. We're coming in through kind of the downtown area. Kyle, we need to. Oh man, David, go ahead and. I got to do some navigation. You take it over.
Okay, yeah. So there's always a lot going on here. By the way, the Memorial Marathon has been delayed tomorrow. This just came in just moments ago. You can read the screen here. The Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon has delayed the full marathon and the relay 1 hour to 7:30. So just keep that in mind. Marathon and relay runners will take off with the half marathon runners. So there have been some changes because of the weather and what's projected to come even as we go into the overnight. So, and hopefully it does not delay anymore, but that's what we have right now, is that we have at least a delay in the marathon. So what we're referring to, and what you heard Michael referring to as well just moments ago, was this area of inflow. Now, there are at least some winds. You can see some winds coming out right here, but where this notch is, these are winds getting pulled up into the storm, and this is where we're at least looking for a bit of rotation picking up here from the Grand Casino. Here's Dale down to Bethel. Here's Bethel Acres and Bethel High School, and then right over Clark's Heights here, very close to Gaddy. And so here's Storm Command. Here's Shane Helton right here. And so remember, Shane was on the tornado warning that was up in Payne County earlier. Now he is down here in Pottawatomie County watching these storms. Chris Lee's up to the northeast, Shane Helton, and then here's Storm Command. So Pottawatomie County, look, we are watching this closely for you right now, and we're going to continue. We're going to real quick, though, because we got to kind of go back and forth here. But we're going to watch this storm. Let's go back down to our tornado warning and just look at all these cells popping up. And what we are now watching is the beginning of our next wave of storms that's now developing, not only from the tornado warning here, but also the storms out towards Cache. So OKC south, we are not done with the storms yet. This is going to be a long night. So our tornado warning here for Bethel and coming out of Comanche County, going into northwestern Stevens County and southern Grady County. Here is your rotation right here near Bethel at this current track, still headed up towards Rush Springs. And as you make way towards Marlow, so Marlow 935, Rush Springs 942. Alec 10:05. Lindsay 10:14 with this storm right here. This is the only tornado warning that we have in the state. And this storm, it produced some incredible winds down in Lawton at Fort Sill, where they had winds reported there at the base close to 80 miles per hour. Those are some winds right here. So this tornado warning remains in effect right now. Rush Springs, Acme, Southern Grady County. Right now, the area of rotation is still on the Stevens County and Comanche County line here. But if you are in Southern Grady County, you're in your tornado shelter right now, innermost room of your house as well right now. Same thing, even if you're outside the warning, Alec, Bradley, Lindsay, Purdy, I know you're not in the tornado warning yet, but the storm is coming in your direction, and you still have a pretty unstable atmosphere in place. So I still feel like the threat is still going to be with this storm as it continues to lift up to the northeast with this cell right here that is going to be east of Comanche. Other storm, let's go up towards Kreiner, and as we make our way towards Dibble, where we have Derek Klein right now, because that storm is also severe as well. And looking at, see, actually, you know what? That warning just dropped just moments ago. So there you go. That's good to, there you go. Yeah. So, actually, yeah. So, okay. That warning looks like it just dropped off. So there we go. 9:30, actually. It looks like this might, let's check in with Derek. Let's get an update from him. Looks like this warning still remains until 9:30. Derek, severe thunderstorm warning for your cell. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon. So we're coming north, coming from the north into Washington right now. We're some really, really intense cloud-to-ground lightning with this thunderstorm. And we haven't seen anything severe yet, but we're not in the core of the storm yet. So the core is about 3 miles to our south. So we're actually gonna drive right through the center of the core of this storm here in the next 5 minutes or so, as it approaches or goes just to the south of Washington. So we're going to continue to track. Wow, I don't know if you saw that lightning. 2 strikes right next to each other. Amazing lightning in this storm. So we're going to continue to watch this, and we'll let you know if we see anything as we continue to head south towards Washington. Back to you.
Yeah, and Derek, we saw that lightning as well. Yeah, there's a lot of electricity in the atmosphere tonight. Let's go back over to the radar. So update with this. So this is still warned on for quarter-size hail, winds of 60. Here's an update that we had that came through just seconds ago. You can see how really we've kind of trimmed the fat off of this warning. Look how large a polygon was. And now we've shrunk it down to Dibble, Kreiner, Slaughterville, Lexington. The rain's finally coming in. It's going to be heavy. Quarter-size hail with this north of Kreiner. This warning goes until 9:30 for McLean County. And eventually this too will lift up towards Etowah and going into southern Pottawatomie and Seminole County. And what I see happening now is that while the risk for severe weather continues and our tornado threat still continues as well, especially with the supercell that's east of Lawton, is that we're beginning to see our secondary waves of storms now beginning to develop. So I would not be surprised if the watch that we have in place for central Oklahoma will be replaced again at about midnight. Now, Ponca City to Stillwater, unfortunately, you're now done with the storms for tonight. I know we would love to see more. Woodward, you had some decent rain early this morning. Northwestern Oklahoma, it was nice. Elk City, haven't had much. But western Oklahoma, we're not seeing any more rain tonight. All the storms are now going to line up from I-44 into the south. And so we see these cells now going up. Fortunately, these are what we would call just messy, severe storms, because down to the southeast, we have all these other storms. The inflow into them is going to be really messy, and so that's going to help keep the tornado risk at a minimum. Not zero, but that will help lower the tornado threat. The storms that will have a tornado risk are these that are on the front. Anything that doesn't have anything down to the southeast obstructed. So we're looking at this cell right here from Bethel up towards Marlow. That's lifting up towards Lindsay. Still going to watch this cell over Kreiner as well, because there's nothing obstructing it coming into the south. And then we're still watching these storms that are in Pottawatomie County as well, that Michael, Chris, and Shane are on. So Shawnee watching these storms, excuse me, coming in right now. Here's your hail core from the Grand Casino to Shawnee. That is lifting up towards Ada-Lot. Let's check in with Shane Helton. Haven't got an update from Shane Helton now that he's made his way down in the Pottawatomie County. But Shane, you and Charlie on the storms in Payne County. Now we have you in Shawnee. Shane, give us an update on how things are.
Damon, we are traveling westbound on I-40, just coming out of Shawnee here, and all of a sudden we hit a wall of water. It was just absolutely amazing. It went from hardly nothing at all, maybe just a few little sprinkles, to all of a sudden probably about a moderate rain. You know, it was pretty amazing how hard it just all of a sudden started. Seriously, it was a wall of water. It's crazy. But we're keeping an eye on these storms that Michael was talking about just a little while ago near Dale and surrounding area there. And right now we're not seeing anything because of the heavy rain. But as soon as we can get out of this rain, and I say heavy, it's probably moderate. You know, when you're driving down I-40 and all of a sudden it seems like it's heavier than it really is. But as soon as we can get up here on a hill, we're going to stop and take a good look at the clouds and the lightning and kind of go from there. But so far, we're not even seeing any hail, so that's a good thing. Damon, back to you.
And yes, that is a good thing. We absolutely like that. So what can we expect for the rest of the night? Because I know that a lot of us, it's Saturday night. As I mentioned before, we're not done with the storms. We're going to see more storms tonight, more storms tomorrow. A lot of the data that we have coming in right now shows that we're probably going to squeeze out another 2 inches of rain from Oklahoma City down to the south. So yes, there is a delay in the OKC Memorial Marathon tomorrow by by 1 hour, but very well could see additional delays. I don't think we're done yet with the delays. The rain is okay. Lightning is not okay. So that's why these delays are coming down. And I think we'll probably be getting some more information coming in over the next few hours. Bottom line, it is springtime in Oklahoma. And so whenever you have a storm system like this, it always needs to be watched closely. And that is what we're doing for you, Shawnee, right now with this storm coming in and knowing what these storms have done already, where these storms have been rotating. Whether they have a tornado or strong winds, this storm has inflow into it, and it's running right over Shawnee, right over town. So here's Shane Helton right now. Here's your hail core, a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain. And there's Michael on the south side of town. Real quick, by the way, tornado warning was just canceled for Grady, Stevens, and Comanche County. That means that we do not have any tornado warnings now in the state. So that is great to see. Sabrina running the radar here and highlighting that this tornado warning is no longer in place from Lawton to Marlow. We love it when that happens. This is good news. We got to get excited for these things here. So the fact that we are now tornado warning free for the first time in about 3 hours, it feels like. No, maybe about 90 minutes. It feels longer, but we have had tornado warnings pretty consistently this evening. And so, but we still have severe thunderstorm warnings inside of a tornado watch.